I'm Naruto Uzumaki. I became a legend with nothing but these fists. No ninjutsu, no genjutsu, just pure taijutsu and raw power that shook entire nations. They said it was impossible to reach the top without fancy jutsu, but I proved them all wrong. This is Galaxy Impact, the technique that made even the strongest shinobi respect these hands. Watch closely, because I'm about to show you what happens when you push your body beyond every limit. Believe it!
The mountain didn't stand a chance. Naruto Uzumaki stood atop what used to be one of the tallest peaks surrounding Konohagakure, his fists still smoking from the impact that had reduced several thousand tons of solid rock to rubble. Dust billowed around him like a conquering general's cape, and his grin stretched wide across his face. Not the hopeful smile of a kid dreaming of acknowledgement, but the satisfied smirk of someone who just accomplished his morning warm-up. Bah! His laugh boomed across the training ground 7, startling a flock of birds 3 miles away. That's number 47 this month. Old man Hokage's gonna have my head again. He was 12 years old. He was built like a brick house, and he was absolutely, undeniably, terrifyingly strong. This wasn't the scrawny orphan the villagers whispered about. This was a monster in human skin, a weapon that had forged itself through methods that would make hardened jonin weep. Naruto Uzumaki had somehow, through talent, obsession, or sheer stubborn insanity, developed a fighting style completely unique to the shinobi world. He called it his fist of justice training, and it had turned him into something the ninja world had never seen before. The rubble crunched under his sandals as he descended the demolished mountain, scratching his belly with one hand while the other casually picked his nose. His orange and black jacket, specially reinforced because normal fabric couldn't survive his training, was torn at the shoulders, revealing arms corded with muscle that had no business being on a preteen body. "Oi, Naruto," a voice called from the tree line. "Did you just destroy another mountain?" Naruto turned, still picking his nose, and grinned at the approaching figure. Might Guy, the green beast of Konoha, stood with his hands on his hips, his jumpsuit immaculate, his teeth gleaming in what should have been physically impossible sunlight. "Morning, Guy-sensei," Naruto called back, wiping his finger on his jacket without shame. Yeah, this one was getting in the way of my view. Plus, I needed to practice my blue hole technique. "Wanna see?" "No." Guy's response was immediate and panicked. "The last time you showed me that technique, you created a crater so deep it flooded with groundwater and became a new lake. The Hokage is still dealing with property disputes from the fishing rights." Bah! That was hilarious. Naruto slapped his knee, genuine mirth dancing in his blue eyes. Those civilians arguing over who gets to fish in the Naruto lake. Did you see their faces when I told them I was thinking about filling it back in? Guy's expression softened despite his exasperation. He'd been Naruto's teacher for 3 years now, ever since the boy had been placed on his team fresh out of the academy. It had been an experience. Most jonin instructors got teams of 3 genin. Guy had requested a solo student after watching Naruto's graduation exam, where the boy had accidentally broken the training ground and then fallen asleep while standing during the Hokage's congratulatory speech. "Come on, my youthful student," Guy said, gesturing toward the village. "We have a mission briefing in an hour. Try not to destroy anything on the way there." "No promises." Naruto stuffed his hands in his pockets and started walking, his gait lazy and unconcerned. Then, without warning, he vanished. Guy's eyes widened. "Soru!" Naruto reappeared 50 meters ahead, walking backward with his hands still in his pockets. "Too slow, sensei. At this rate, we'll miss breakfast, and I heard Ichiraku is doing a special on miso ramen with extra pork." "That's cheating!" Guy protested, but he was grinning. "Using your high-speed movement technique for food acquisition is not youthful," says the guy who runs laps around the village before breakfast. Naruto shot back. Then his eyes glazed over, and he started swaying where he stood. "Man, that training made me sleepy, though. Think I'll just..." He was asleep, standing up, walking backward. Guy sighed and caught up, steering his unconscious student toward the village like a particularly heavy shopping cart. This was normal. This was his life now. This was Naruto Uzumaki, the boy who had somehow become the most powerful genin in Konoha's history while maintaining the discipline of a particularly enthusiastic golden retriever. The mission room in the Hokage Tower was crowded when they arrived. Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage, sat behind his desk with the patient expression of a man who had long since accepted that his life would never be peaceful again. To his right stood Kakashi Hatake, the famous copy ninja, his visible eye curved in what might have been amusement. Several Anbu operatives lined the walls, their animal masks hiding expressions that ranged from respect to barely concealed terror. They were all watching the door. They were waiting for him. "Good morning, everyone!" Naruto kicked the door open hard enough to crack the frame, striding in with his hands behind his head. "Yo, old man, what's the mission? Please tell me it's something exciting. The last one was so boring I fell asleep halfway through the fight." "You fell asleep while an enemy ninja was actively trying to kill you," Hiruzen said dryly, taking a long pull from his pipe. "Your opponent was so confused he stopped attacking to check if you were dead. And then I woke up and punched him into next week." Naruto laughed, plopping down in one of the chairs with such force it creaked ominously. He immediately pulled out a pack of rice crackers from his pocket and started munching. "Bwah! You should have seen his face!" He was all like, "What? How?" And I was all like, "Bam!" He mimicked a punch, and several Anbu flinched. They'd seen that punch. They'd helped clean up after that punch. That punch had created a new geographical feature. Kakashi's eye curved further. Naruto-kun certainly keeps things interesting." "Interesting," Hiruzen repeated flatly. "Yes, that's one word for it." He shuffled through some papers on his desk, deliberately taking his time. Naruto continued eating, completely unbothered, occasionally picking his nose between crackers. The Hokage had learned that rushing briefings with Naruto was pointless. The boy operated on his own timeline. "Naruto," Hiruzen finally said, "how do you feel about a C-rank mission to Wave Country?" Naruto stopped mid-chew. His eyes, which had been half-lidded and lazy, suddenly sharpened. The temperature in the room seemed to drop several degrees. "Wave Country? What's the job?" "Bridge Builder Escort. A man named Tazuna has hired Konoha to protect him while he completes construction of a bridge. The mission is rated C-rank, meaning we expect bandits at worst." "You're lying." The room went silent. Every eye turned to Naruto, who had stopped eating entirely. His posture hadn't changed. He still lounged in the chair like he owned it, but something fundamental had shifted. The goofy kid was gone. In his place sat something else, something dangerous. Hiruzen's eyebrows rose. "Excuse me." "You're lying," Naruto repeated, his voice flat and casual. "Or the client is lying, or both." He tilted his head, and his eyes locked onto the Hokage with an intensity that made several Anbu shift uncomfortably. "Your heart rate just increased, your breathing changed, and there's no way you'd call Guy Sensei and me into a personal briefing for a simple escort mission. So what's really going on?" Kakashi's visible eye widened fractionally. Hiruzen stared at Naruto for a long moment, then slowly smiled. "When did you develop that ability?" "About 6 months ago," Naruto said, popping another cracker into his mouth. The serious moment passed like a summer storm, and he was back to grinning. "I call it my present sensing. Pretty cool, right? I can feel when people are lying, sense their strength, predict their attacks. Really useful stuff. Makes fights way more interesting." "That's," Kakashi started, then paused. "That's an extremely advanced sensory technique. Most jonin train for years to develop anything close to that level of perception." "Yeah, well, I'm not most jonin." Naruto stood up, stretching until his spine popped audibly. "So, old man, what's the real story? Stop wasting my time and tell me who I'm gonna fight." Hiruzen's smile turned grim. "Missing Nin. Possibly jonin level. The client lied about the mission rank because he couldn't afford a B-rank escort. I'm sending you because..." He paused, choosing his words carefully. "Because if things go wrong, you're one of the few people in this village I trust to handle it." "Bah!" Naruto's laugh echoed off the walls. "Finally, a real fight. I was getting so bored punching mountains. Mountains don't punch back, you know?" He cracked his knuckles, each pop sounding like a small thunderclap. "When do we leave?" "1 hour," Guy said, stepping forward. "Naruto, this is serious. Jonin level missing 9 are extremely dangerous, even with your abilities." Sensei, Naruto interrupted, turning to face his teacher with a grin that was all teeth. These fists have crushed countless enemies. A few missing nin? They're just rocks that happen to bleed. The Anbu in the room exchanged glances. They'd heard the stories. They'd seen the evidence. But hearing Naruto talk about crushing enemies with that casual, cheerful tone was still deeply unsettling. He was 12 years old. He should be playing pranks and dreaming about being Hokage, not speaking about killing with the experience of a veteran. But Naruto Uzumaki had never been a normal 12-year-old. There's one more thing, Hiruzen said quietly. The client has a grandson, 8 years old, civilian. He'll be accompanying you on this mission. Naruto's grin faded slightly. A kid? Old man, if there's gonna be a fight. Then you'll protect him, Hiruzen said firmly. That's part of the mission, Naruto. I know you prefer straightforward combat, but being a shinobi means protecting those who can't protect themselves. For a moment, Naruto looked like he wanted to argue. Then he shrugged, the serious expression melting away like it had never existed. Fine. Fine. I'll protect the brat. But if he slows us down, I'm carrying him. And if he complains about my training methods, that grin came back, sharp and dangerous. Well, he'll learn real quick why they call me the monster of Konoha. Nobody calls you that, Kakashi said mildly. They do behind my back, Naruto protested. I can hear them. There goes the monster. Did you hear what he did to Training Ground 44? I heard he punched an entire forest into kindling. He puffed out his chest proudly. Some people are scared of me, and that's exactly how I like it. Bwah! Hiruzen pinched the bridge of his nose. Just try not to destroy anything important in Wave Country. We need them as allies. No promises. Naruto was already heading for the door. Come on, Guy-sensei. Let's meet this client and get moving. I want to see what kind of missing nin Wave Country has. Maybe they'll be strong enough to make me use my Galaxy Impact. Please don't use Galaxy Impact in a civilian area. Guy called after him, but Naruto was already gone, his footsteps echoing down the hallway. The room was silent for a moment after he left. He's gotten stronger again, one of the Anbu finally said. He gets stronger every day, Kakashi replied, his tone thoughtful. That observation haki ability, that's not something you can teach. He developed it naturally through combat experience and training, at 12 years old. He's a monster, another Anbu muttered. He's our monster, Hiruzen corrected, his eyes distant. And Wave Country is about to discover exactly what that means. Tazuna was drunk when they met him at the village gates. Not falling down drunk, but definitely drinking since noon drunk. He was a grizzled old man with a towel wrapped around his head, work-worn hands, and the suspicious eyes of someone who'd been disappointed by life too many times. When his gaze landed on Naruto and Guy, his expression cycled rapidly through confusion, concern, and resignation. This is my escort? He looked at Guy. One kid and a guy in a jumpsuit? This kid, Guy said with barely suppressed pride, is Might Guy, the beautiful green beast of Konoha, and my extraordinary student, Naruto Uzumaki. Bah! Naruto was picking his nose again, completely unconcerned by Tazuna's skepticism. Don't worry, old man. If anyone tries to kill you, I'll just punch them really hard. Works every time. That's not reassuring, Tazuna muttered. Then he noticed the child peeking out from behind him, a small boy with dark hair and scared eyes. This is my grandson, Inari. He's coming with us. Naruto crouched down to Inari's level and the boy flinched backward. Up close, Naruto looked even more intimidating, all muscle and confidence and that unsettling grin. But his voice, when he spoke, was almost gentle. Hey kid, name's Naruto. Don't worry, nobody's gonna hurt you while I'm around. Anyone tries, I'll introduce them to my fist. He held up one hand, and for just a second, something dark and metallic seemed to coat his skin before fading. These fists have never lost a fight. They're not gonna start now. Inari stared at him with wide eyes, not sure if he should be comforted or more frightened. Can we go now? Tazuna said impatiently. The sooner we get back to Wave, the sooner I can finish that damn bridge. Sure thing, Naruto stood, hands in his pockets. How far is it? 3 days by foot, Guy said. 2 if we push hard. Or 6 hours if we take the express route, Naruto said casually. Everyone stared at him. What express route? Tazuna demanded. Naruto's grin turned absolutely feral. The one where I carry everyone and use Soru the whole way. We be there before dinner." "No," Guy said immediately. "Absolutely not. The last time you tried that, you ran through 3 villages, caused 6 separate complaints about property damage, and traumatized a dozen civilians who thought a demon was attacking." "They were fine," Naruto protested. "A little wind damage never hurt anyone. Well, okay, there was that one guy's cart, but I paid him back. Eventually. Probably." "We're walking," Guy said firmly. "You're no fun," Naruto muttered, but he didn't argue further. Instead, he yawned widely, his jaw cracking. "Fine, walking it is. Wake me up when we get there." And just like that, he was asleep on his feet, swaying slightly but somehow still standing. Tazuna looked at Guy with an expression of profound concern. "Is he okay?" "Perfectly normal," Guy assured him. "He'll wake up if there's danger. Probably, usually, most of the time." "That's still not reassuring." Narkatsun. They made it exactly 3 hours before the first attack. They were walking through dense forest, following the main road to Wave Country. Tazuna was sweating despite the cool air, his eyes darting to every shadow. Inari clung to his grandfather's hand, silent and withdrawn. Guy walked with his usual energetic stride, occasionally launching into speeches about youth and perseverance that nobody was listening to. And Naruto was still asleep, walking with his eyes closed, somehow not running into trees. Then he stopped, his eyes snapped open, no trace of sleepiness in them. "Got company," he said casually. 2 of them, hiding in the trees ahead. Chakra signatures are Chunin level, maybe low Jonin. They're trying to hide their presence, but they're doing a crap job of it. Guy's demeanor shifted instantly, his body tensing into a combat stance. "How far?" 50 meters. No, wait, 45. They're moving closer. Naruto tilted his head, and that predatory grin spread across his face. Bah! Finally! I was getting so bored I was about to punch a tree just for entertainment. "Naruto," Guy said warningly. "Protect the civilians, I'll handle." "Nah!" Naruto was already walking forward, his stride casual and unhurried. "You watch the old man and the kid. I need to stretch my legs anyway. This'll be fun!" "Fun?" Tazuna squeaked. "There are ninja assassins trying to kill me, and you think it'll be fun?" "Well, yeah," Naruto called back over his shoulder. "What else would it be? Boring? Please, I haven't had a good fight in weeks. These guys better not disappoint me, or I'm going to be really annoyed." The attack came fast. 2 figures burst from the trees, both wearing mismatched armor and kirigakure headbands with slash marks through them, missing Nin. They moved with practiced coordination, one going high while the other went low, both aiming for Tazuna. They never made it within 10 feet of him. Naruto moved. 1 second he was walking casually, hands in his pockets. The next, he was between the assassins and their target, and his fist was coated in something that made the air shimmer, a dark, metallic coating that seemed to drink in the light. "Armament hockey," he said, almost conversationally. "Pretty cool, right? Makes my punches hit harder than a landslide. Wanna see?" The first assassin didn't have time to respond. Naruto's punch caught him square in the chest, and the sound was like a thunderclap. The man's eyes bulged, his body folding around the impact, and he flew backwards so fast he was a blur. He crashed through 3 trees before hitting a boulder with enough force to crack the stone, then slumped to the ground, unconscious or dead. It was hard to tell from the distance. The second assassin skidded to a stop, staring in horror. "Whoops," Naruto said, examining his fist. "Think I pulled that punch too much. He might still be alive." He looked up at the remaining ninja, and his grin widened. "You gonna attack, or are you gonna stand there? I'm getting impatient." The assassin made a hand seal, his hands blurring. Water style, water dragon jutsu. Water materialized out of nowhere, forming into a massive dragon that roared toward Naruto with crushing force. It was a B-rank technique capable of pulverizing stone and drowning opponents in seconds. Naruto didn't move. He just pulled back his fist. "Blue hole," he shouted, and punched straight into the water dragon's maw. The world seemed to pause. The water dragon froze mid-roar, its entire form shaking. Then the punch's shockwave ripped through it, and the technique literally exploded into mist, droplets raining down like a sudden storm. The shockwave continued forward, tearing through the air, and the assassin barely managed to dodge by throwing himself sideways. He wasn't fast enough. The edge of the shockwave caught him, spinning him like a top and sending him crashing into the underbrush. He struggled to his feet, gasping, one arm hanging at an odd angle. "Soru!" Naruto vanished, reappearing directly in front of the assassin before the man could blink. "That water technique was pretty good. Not good enough, but pretty good. You almost made me use both hands." "What are you?" the assassin gasped. "Me?" Naruto's grin was all teeth now, and there was something genuinely frightening in his eyes. Not cruelty, but an absolute unshakable confidence that he was the strongest thing in this forest. "I'm Naruto Uzumaki. Some people call me the monster. Others call me the mountain crusher. But most people," he cracked his knuckles, "most people just scream." His fists moved faster than the eye could track, coated in that dark armament hockey. The assassin tried to block, tried to dodge, tried to do anything. It didn't matter. The punch caught him in the solar plexus, and the man's eyes rolled back in his head. He dropped like a puppet with cut strings, out before he hit the ground. Naruto dusted off his hands, the dark coating fading from his knuckles. Well, that was disappointing. I didn't even get to use Geppo or my Tempest kick. He turned back to where Guy, Tazuna, and Inari stood frozen. "See? Told you I'd handle it. Everyone okay?" Inari was staring at him with an expression that might have been awe or terror, possibly both. Tazuna had gone pale, his mouth opening and closing soundlessly. Guy just sighed. "Naruto, you were supposed to capture them for questioning, not knock them unconscious." "They're not dead," Naruto protested. "Probably. I pulled my punches. See, that first guy is still breathing." He pointed at the ninja who crashed through 3 trees. Sure enough, the man's chest was rising and falling, though he showed no signs of consciousness. "I'm very restrained. Ask anyone." "You destroyed a mountain this morning," Guy said flatly. "The mountain was asking for it." Tazuna finally found his voice. That was impossible. You're just a kid. How did you—" "Training," Naruto said cheerfully, pulling out another rice cracker and munching on it. "Lots and lots of training, and natural talent, and stubbornness, mostly stubbornness." He glanced at the sky, calculating. "We should keep moving. Where there's 2 assassins, there's probably more, and the next ones might actually be strong enough to be interesting." "That's not a good thing," Tazuna shouted. "Sure it is. Come on, old man, where's your sense of adventure?" Naruto started walking again, hands behind his head, completely unconcerned. "Besides, you hired Konoha Ninja to protect you. Well, congratulations. You got the best. Nobody's gonna hurt you while I'm around. I guarantee it." There was absolute certainty in his voice, not arrogance, but simple fact. Naruto Uzumaki didn't make promises he couldn't keep. Guy quickly tied up the 2 unconscious assassins and marked their location for retrieval later. Then he hurried after his student, Tazuna and Inari trailing behind, both still processing what they just witnessed. "That boy," Tazuna muttered. "What the hell is he?" Guy glanced back with a smile that was proud and slightly manic. "That is my youthful student, the most promising taijutsu specialist Konoha has produced in decades. He's already stronger than most jonin, and he's only 12 years old. By the time he's my age—" Guy's eyes gleamed with excitement. "By the time he's my age, he'll be unstoppable." "He's already unstoppable," Inari whispered, speaking for the first time since they'd left Konoha. "I've never seen anyone move that fast or hit that hard. Is he really human? That's a question many people ask," Guy admitted. "The answer is yes, he's absolutely human. He's just worked harder than anyone I've ever met. Do you know what he does for training?" "Punches mountains?" Tazuna guessed weakly, remembering what Guy had said earlier. "Punches mountains," Guy confirmed, "and throws boulders, and practices his movement techniques for hours, and spars with me at full intensity, and meditates to refine his sensing abilities, and eats. My goodness, does that boy eat? His metabolism is ridiculous." As if summoned by the mention of food, Naruto turned around, walking backward. "Yo, Guy-sensei, how much longer until we can stop for lunch? I'm starving." That fight barely counted as a warm-up, and now I'm hungry. "We'll stop in 2 hours," Guy called back. 2 hours? Naruto looked genuinely distraught. "But sensei, I'll die of starvation." "You ate breakfast 3 hours ago, and you've been eating rice crackers constantly. That's not real food. That's just snacks. I need real food." Naruto clutched his stomach dramatically. "I can feel my strength fading. My muscles are withering. Soon I'll be too weak to even throw a proper punch. This is a tragedy, a catastrophe. Oh, is that a wild rabbit?" He vanished, moving faster than the eye could track. There was a brief commotion in the nearby bushes, then Naruto reappeared holding a very startled rabbit by its ears. "Found lunch," he announced triumphantly. "Put the rabbit down, Naruto," Guy shouted. "But it's fresh and tasty looking. We are not eating wild rabbits on a mission." "You're no fun," Naruto grumbled, but he set the rabbit down. It immediately bolted into the forest like its tail was on fire. "Fine, but when I die of hunger, it's on your conscience, Sensei." He went back to walking, hands in his pockets, and within 30 seconds he was asleep again, snoring softly as he walked. Tazuna watched this all with an expression of profound bewilderment. "Is he always like this?" "Always," Guy said fondly. "You get used to it." "I really don't think I will." No indomitable. They made camp that evening in a small clearing off the main road. Guy set up a perimeter with wire and basic warning seals while Naruto, who had finally woken up, started a fire with casual efficiency. Tazuna and Inari huddled close to the flames, still jumpy from the earlier attack. "So," Naruto said around a mouthful of rice, "why didn't you tell us you were being hunted by serious ninja? That's kinda important information, old man." Tazuna flinched. I couldn't afford a higher-ranked mission. Wave Country is poor. We're being bled dry by a criminal named Gato. He controls all the shipping routes, monopolizes trade, and anyone who stands up to him." He trailed off, his hands clenching. "Anyone who stands up to him disappears. The bridge I'm building will break his monopoly. That's why he wants me dead." "So you lied to get better protection for cheaper," Naruto summarized. "Smart. Dangerous, but smart." He shoveled more rice into his mouth. "Well, doesn't matter now. You got me, and I don't do refunds. You're stuck with my protection whether you can afford it or not." "Why?" Inari asked quietly. "Why would you help us if we can't pay?" Naruto looked at the boy for a long moment, his expression unreadable. Then he grinned. "Because it's the right thing to do, obviously. Plus, this Gato guy sounds like a real piece of garbage. I hate guys like that. People who prey on the weak because they think they're untouchable." His grin turned sharp. "I'm gonna enjoy introducing him to my fist of love. It's called that because I'm gonna love punching his face in." Despite everything, Inari almost smiled. "Naruto," Guy said from where he was checking the perimeter. "Do you sense anyone nearby?" Naruto closed his eyes, and his expression went distant. His observation haki spread out like an invisible net, covering hundreds of meters in all directions. "Nothing close. There's some wildlife about 200 meters north, and I'm picking up what might be a merchant caravan about 5 clicks east, but no hostile presences." He opened his eyes. "We're good for now." "Excellent." Guy struck his nice guy pose, thumb up and teeth gleaming. "Then this is the perfect opportunity for evening training. Naruto, 500 push-ups, 500 sit-ups, and 500 squats. And if you can't finish in under an hour, you'll do it all again on your hands." "Bah! Now you're talking, Sensei." Naruto was already on the ground, cranking out push-ups at a pace that should have been physically impossible. "This is nothing. I could do this in my sleep. Actually, I probably have done this in my sleep." "Your form is sloppy," Guy criticized. "Faster, more power in each movement." "I'm going as slow as I can," Naruto protested, now doing push-ups so fast he was a blur. "If I go any faster, I'll create a crater." Tazuna watched this insanity with mounting horror. "He's doing multiple push-ups per second. That's not normal. That's not human." "Welcome to my life," Guy said cheerfully. "And he's holding back. You should see him train in the morning. He warms up by punching a boulder until it's gravel, then runs laps around the village with weights that would crush most jonin, then practices his combat techniques against training dummies that he's reinforced with steel because wood ones last about 3 seconds." "How is he not dead?" Tazuna whispered. "Excellent question," Guy said. "I ask myself that daily. The answer seems to be pure stubbornness and an absolutely ridiculous constitution. I've never seen anyone recover from training as fast as Naruto does. He can go from completely exhausted to full strength in a matter of hours." Naruto finished his push-ups and immediately moved to sit-ups, still maintaining that impossible pace. "You know I can hear you guys talking about me, right? I'm not that weird. I just work hard." "You punched a man through 3 trees today," Tazuna said flatly. "Yeah, but I pulled the punch. If I'd hit him full force, he'd have gone through 6 trees. Maybe 7. So really, I showed a lot of restraint. That's not restraint. Bah! Naruto's laugh echoed through the forest. Sure it is. Restraint is when you could kill someone instantly, but choose to only mostly kill them. I'm very merciful. Inari, despite his earlier fear, found himself staring at Naruto with something approaching fascination. This boy, this impossibly strong, impossibly weird boy, was talking about crushing enemies and showing mercy in the same breath, and somehow it didn't sound cruel. It sounded honest, like he genuinely saw the world in those simple terms. Strong enough to protect, strong enough to destroy, and choosing protection every time. Naruto, Inari said suddenly, are you the strongest ninja in your village? Naruto paused mid-sit-up, considering. Good question. Strongest genin? Definitely. Strongest overall? He shrugged. There are some real monsters in Konoha. The Hokage is way stronger than me. He could probably take me in a fight if he got serious. There's Might Guy here who has techniques that could literally kill him if he used them at full power. There's Kakashi Sensei, who's got some crazy tricks up his sleeve. And then there's this one lady named Tsunade, who supposedly has super strength even crazier than mine, but she left the village years ago. He finished his sit-ups and moved to squats, still talking casually. So yeah, I'm not the absolute strongest. Not yet, but I'm working on it. Every day I get a little bit stronger, a little bit faster, a little bit better. That's what training is about. Constant improvement. Bwah! In a few years, I'll be so strong that even the Hokage will have to acknowledge I'm a monster. You're already a monster, Tazuna muttered, but there was less fear in his voice now. Something about Naruto's enthusiastic madness was oddly reassuring. If this boy was protecting them, then maybe, just maybe, they'd actually survive this. Naruto finished his exercises in 47 minutes, not even breathing hard. He plopped down by the fire, immediately pulling out another pack of rice crackers. That was a good warm-up. Tomorrow morning, I'll find another mountain to punch. Gotta keep my skills sharp. Please don't destroy geographical features in Wave Country, Guy begged. We're trying to maintain good relations. Fine. I'll just punch some trees or something. Trees are replaceable, right? That's not better. They fell into comfortable banter, the fire crackling between them. Tazuna found himself relaxing slightly, and even Inari seemed less tense. There was something about Naruto's presence, his absolute confidence, his casual strength, his genuine enthusiasm, that made you believe everything would be okay. It was a dangerous belief. But in that moment, in that firelit clearing with a boy monster casually eating crackers after doing superhuman exercises, it felt true. The next attack came the following afternoon, and it was much more serious. They were crossing a massive bridge, the very bridge Tazuna was building, when Naruto stopped walking and tilted his head. Huh, that's interesting. What? Guy was immediately alert. That mist rolling in. Naruto pointed toward the water, where thick fog was spreading across the surface impossibly fast. That's not natural. Someone's using a technique to create it. His grin returned. And whoever it is, they're strong. Way stronger than those two idiots yesterday. How strong? Guy asked quietly. Jonin. High Jonin? Maybe low elite. Naruto's eyes gleamed with excitement. Finally, a real fight. The mist enveloped them completely within seconds, reducing visibility to almost zero. Tazuna and Inari pressed close together, fear radiating off them in waves. Guy dropped into a combat stance, his eyes scanning the fog. Then a voice spoke from everywhere and nowhere. Zabuza Momochi, demon of the hidden mist. Which of you Konoha ninja wants to die first? That one! Naruto shouted cheerfully. I'll die first, or I would, except I'm not actually going to die, because you're not strong enough to kill me. But I appreciate the confidence. He took several steps away from the group, positioning himself between the hidden assassin and the civilians. Guy-sensei, protect the old man and the kid. This one's mine. Naruto, Guy said warningly. Zabuza Momochi is S rank in the bingo book. He's gonna get punched in the face, Naruto finished. Don't worry, sensei, I've got this. A figure materialized from the mist. A tall man with bandaged face and wild eyes, carrying a massive sword that was almost as big as he was. Zabuza Momochi, one of the 7 swordsmen of the mist, regarded Naruto with cold assessment. A child? He said flatly. Konoha sends me a child? Bwah! Naruto's laugh cut through the mist like a blade. Yeah, they sent a child, the best child, the strongest child, the child who's about to kick your ass so hard you'll be tasting shoe leather for a week. He cracked his knuckles, and that dark coating spread across his hands, armament hockey in full display. Come on, demon of the mist, show me what you've got. I promise I'll try not to end this too quickly. Zabuza's eyes narrowed. He'd seen a lot in his life as a missing nine. He'd fought countless opponents, killed dozens of ninja. But this kid, this brat who couldn't be older than 12, was looking at him like he was prey. And more disturbing, that dark coating on the boy's fists, he'd never seen a technique like that before. You'll regret that confidence, Zabuza said, raising his massive blade. Silent killing technique. He vanished into the mist. Naruto closed his eyes. His observation haki spread out like a spider's web, feeling every movement in the fog, every shift in air pressure, every heartbeat. He could sense Zabuza moving through the mist with practiced ease, circling, looking for an opening. Behind! Naruto said calmly, not moving. Zabuza appeared behind him, blade descending toward his neck in a killing strike that had ended dozens of lives. Naruto's hand shot up, still coated in armament haki, and caught the blade between two fingers. The mist seemed to freeze. Zabuza stared in absolute shock as this child, this impossible child, held his legendary blade with just two fingers, stopping its momentum completely. Nice sword, Naruto said conversationally. Heavy though, must be annoying to carry around. Want me to help lighten the load? He flicked the blade. The force of that casual flick sent Zabuza stumbling backward, his grip on the sword almost breaking. The mist swirled around him as he caught his balance, staring at Naruto with something approaching respect. What are you? Zabuza demanded. I'm Naruto Uzumaki, the guy who's about to teach you why you shouldn't underestimate Konoha ninja. Naruto dropped into a fighting stance that Guy recognized immediately, the same stance he used when he was about to get serious. Soru! Naruto vanished. Not the blur of a substitution technique or the smoke of a clone, he simply wasn't there anymore. Zabuza spun, his instincts screaming danger, bringing his blade up defensively. Naruto reappeared above him, having somehow jumped 20 feet straight up without any hand seals. His leg was raised, coated in that same dark haki, and his grin was feral. Tempest kick! His leg swung down in a devastating arc. A blade of compressed air, sharp enough to cut steel, fast enough to be nearly invisible, ripped through the mist and slammed into Zabuza's hastily raised sword. The impact created a shockwave that blew away the fog in a perfect circle, revealing the bridge and the stunned onlookers. Zabuza skidded backward, his arms shaking from blocking the attack. A thin line of blood appeared on his cheek where the air blade had grazed him despite his defense. Impossible, he muttered. That technique, I've never seen anything like it. No hand seals, no chakra molding, just pure physical power shaped into a projectile. He looked at Naruto with new eyes. You're not a normal genin. Blah! It took you long enough to figure that out. Naruto landed lightly, bouncing on the balls of his feet. Come on, demon of the mist, is that all you've got? I haven't even started trying yet. Show me your real strength, or I'm going to get bored. Something shifted in Zabuza's expression, a recognition that this wasn't going to be an easy fight. He made a quick hand seal. Water style, water dragon jutsu. A massive dragon made of water erupted from the ocean below, roaring toward Naruto with crushing force. It was the same technique the assassin from yesterday had used, but at least 10 times larger and more powerful. This was a Jonin-level technique, capable of destroying buildings. Naruto planted his feet and pulled back both fists. Both hands glowed with armament haki, the dark coating spreading up to his elbows. Blue hole! His punch met the water dragon head-on. For a single moment, the world seemed to hold its breath. Then the shockwave from the punch tore through the water construct, literally ripping it apart molecule by molecule. Water exploded in every direction, drenching the bridge, and the shockwave continued forward, aimed directly at Zabuza. The missing 9 barely managed to substitute with a water clone, the shockwave obliterating the clone and creating a crater in the bridge's surface. He destroyed a high-level water technique with a punch, Tazuna said faintly. Just a punch. That's my student, Guy shouted proudly. Youthful, dynamic, powerful. Zabuza reappeared on the bridge's railing, breathing harder now. You're dangerous, kid. Too dangerous to let live. He made another series of hand seals. Water style, water prison jutsu. No, wait, you just punched through that too. He lowered his hands, his expression calculating. I'm going to need to get creative. Finally, Naruto crowed. Show me something interesting. Come on, Zabuza. These fists have crushed countless enemies. They've shattered mountains. They've never been defeated. Think you can be the first? It was the wrong thing to say. Or perhaps the right thing, depending on perspective. Zabuza's eyes narrowed, and something dark and primal flickered in their depths. He'd been the demon of the mist for years. He'd survived the Bloody Mist Village's brutal training. He'd killed his classmates to graduate. He'd fought in wars and survived assassination attempts from some of the most dangerous people in the world. And this child was mocking him. Fine, Zabuza said quietly. You want to see my real strength? Then watch carefully, kid. This is the technique that earned me the title of demon. He thrust his massive blade into the bridge's surface and made a long series of hand seals, more than Naruto had ever seen anyone use for a single technique. The mist returned, thicker than before, and within it shapes began to form. Dozens of shapes, hundreds. Hidden mist jutsu, army of the damned. Water clones, not just a few, but a literal army of them, materialized from the mist. Each one was a perfect copy of Zabuza, each one wielding his signature sword, each one moving with deadly intent. They surrounded Naruto completely, a closing circle of blades and killing intent. Tazuna made a small, terrified sound. Inari clutched his grandfather's hand. Even Guy looked concerned, tensing to intervene. But Naruto? Naruto was grinning like it was his birthday. Now that's what I'm talking about. He cracked his neck, rolling his shoulders. Finally! A challenge! This is gonna be fun! The clones attacked as one, a synchronized killing machine designed to overwhelm through sheer numbers. Blades descended from every direction, moving with the precision of a master swordsman multiplied hundreds of times. Naruto closed his eyes. His observation haki expanded to its maximum range, and suddenly he could feel every clone, every blade, every intention. Time seemed to slow as his mind processed hundreds of attacks simultaneously, calculating angles and trajectories and weak points. Soru, he moved. To the observers, it looked like Naruto simply disappeared and reappeared in different locations, leaving a trail of destroyed water clones in his wake. But to Naruto, it was a dance. A beautiful, violent dance where every movement flowed into the next, where every punch destroyed an enemy, where he was always exactly where he needed to be. His fists, coated in armament haki, turned water clones into mist with single strikes. He used Soru to dodge attacks that should have been impossible to avoid, moving faster than the eye could track. When clones surrounded him, he used Geppo to jump into the air, running on nothing but air itself. When they tried to overwhelm him with ranged attacks, he used Tempest Kick to send cutting air blades that destroyed dozens at once. It was beautiful. It was terrifying. It was absolutely, undeniably overwhelming. Within 30 seconds, half the clones were gone. Within a minute, only a handful remained. And Naruto wasn't even breathing hard. Bwah! His laugh echoed across the bridge. This is great! Make more clones! More! I can do this all day! But Zabuza wasn't laughing. He was staring at Naruto with something approaching horror. This child had just destroyed an army of his clones with casual ease, using techniques Zabuza had never seen or even heard of. The boy was fast, impossibly fast, strong, impossibly strong, and more concerning, he was getting faster as the fight went on, like his body was adapting in real time. What the hell are you? Zabuza said again, and this time there was genuine fear in his voice. Naruto stopped, standing amidst the mist and scattered water from destroyed clones, his fists still glowing with dark haki. I told you already, I'm Naruto Uzumaki, the monster of Konoha, the mountain crusher, the guy who's never lost a fight. He pointed at Zabuza with one haki-coated finger. And you're about to become another name on my list of people I've punched into submission. Last chance, Zabuza. Surrender now, and I won't hurt you too badly. Keep fighting, and... His grin turned savage. Well, let's just say I've been wanting to try out my Galaxy Impact technique for weeks, and you're looking like the perfect test subject. Galaxy? Impact? Zabuza repeated slowly. My ultimate technique, Naruto said cheerfully. It's never failed to completely wreck whatever I aimed it at. Last time I used it in training, I created a crater so deep they had to divert a river to keep it from becoming a permanent lake. Want to see what it does to a person? For a long moment, Zabuza considered his options. He could keep fighting, throw everything he had at this impossible child. But looking at Naruto, at his casual stance, his unwavering confidence, the absolute certainty in his eyes that he would win, Zabuza realized something. He was outmatched. Completely, utterly, undeniably outmatched. I surrender, he said quietly, dispelling the remaining clones and lowering his blade. You win, kid. What? Naruto looked genuinely disappointed. But we were just getting started. Come on, fight me for real. Use your secret techniques, your trump cards, your... Naruto, Guy called from where he was protecting the civilians. Accept his surrender. That's what shinobi do. But sensei, Naruto whined, I didn't even get to use half my techniques. I was going to show him my bone fist and my iron body and my paper art and... Naruto, surrender accepted. Mission continues. You're no fun, Naruto grumbled, but the dark coating faded from his hands. He walked over to Zabuza, looking up at the much taller man with a critical expression. You're pretty strong, you know. Not strong enough to beat me, obviously, but still pretty strong. Why are you working as an assassin anyway? Seems like a waste of talent. Zabuza stared at this child who had just utterly defeated him and was now casually critiquing his life choices. I'm being forced to work for a criminal named Gato. He has something I need and he's holding it hostage. Something you need? Naruto tilted his head. Like what? A weapon? Money? Forbidden technique scrolls? Ooh, is it a person? It's totally a person, isn't it? You've got someone you care about, and Gato's using them to control you. The accuracy of that guess made Zabuza flinch. How did you? You fight like someone who doesn't want to be fighting, Naruto said, suddenly serious. I can tell. Your attacks were powerful, but there was hesitation in them, like you were hoping someone would give you a good excuse to stop. He grinned again. So here's the deal. You take us to this Gato guy, we punch him in his stupid face, rescue whoever he's got hostage, and then you owe me a favor. Sound good? You want to help me? Zabuza said slowly. Well, yeah, you're not really a bad guy, just a guy in a bad situation. Plus, I really want to punch Gato. He sounds like a grade A asshole. Naruto looked back at Guy. Sensei, this counts as completing the mission, right? Protecting the bridge builder from assassins and stopping the crime lord who hired them. Guy sighed, but he was smiling. Yes, Naruto, that would count as mission completion. Tazuna, what do you say? Tazuna, who had been watching this entire exchange with his mouth hanging open, finally found his voice. You just beat a legendary missing nin, convinced him to surrender, and now you want to help him rescue someone from the criminal who's been terrorizing my country. And you think this is normal? Pretty normal for me, Naruto said cheerfully. Come on, Zabuza. Take us to Gato's base. This is gonna be great. I haven't stormed a criminal headquarters in at least 2 months. That's not something you should say with pride, Guy muttered, but he was already moving to collect the group. Zabuza looked down at Naruto, this strange, powerful, utterly bizarre child who had defeated him, then offered help without hesitation. Why? He asked quietly. Why would you help me after I tried to kill your client? Naruto shrugged. Because I can. Because it's the right thing to do. And because... That grin returned, wild and joyful. Because punching bad guys is fun! Blah! Now come on, lead the way. I want to see the look on Gato's face when we kick down his door. Gato's compound was exactly what you'd expect from a criminal who had grown fat on exploitation and fear. Ostentatious, heavily guarded, and positioned on an island just off the Wave Country coast. According to Zabuza, Gato kept dozens of mercenaries and thugs on the payroll, along with several missing 9 of varying skill levels. So we're going to fight an entire army, Naruto summarized as they observed the compound from a nearby cliff. Awesome! I was hoping for something like this. That is not the correct reaction, Tazuna said weakly. Normal people would be planning a stealthy infiltration or calling for backup. Stealth is boring, Naruto declared. And backup? Why would I need backup when I can just walk in the front door and punch everyone? He turned to Zabuza. Where's your person being held? The East Tower, Zabuza said quietly. 3rd floor. Her name is Haku. She's important to me. Got it. East Tower, 3rd floor, person named Haku. Naruto nodded seriously. Don't worry, Zabuza. Nobody's gonna hurt her. I promise. There was such absolute certainty in those words that Zabuza found himself actually believing them. The plan, Guy said, trying to regain some semblance of control over the situation, is to create a distraction at the main gate while Naruto crashes through the east wall, grabs Haku, and then punches Gato into next week, Naruto finished. Yeah, I got it. Simple, direct, effective. My favorite kind of plan. He started stretching, his muscles rippling. How many guards do you think are in there, Zabuza? At least 50, Zabuza said. Maybe more. Plus Gato has several Chunin-level missing nin on retainer, and there's a trap seal network throughout the building designed to catch intruders. Perfect. Naruto's grin was absolutely feral now. I love trap seals. They're so much fun to trigger and then punch through. Okay, everyone ready? I'm gonna count down from 3 and then... Wait! Guy held up a hand. Naruto, you can't just charge in without proper planning. 3! Naruto shouted, completely ignoring him. Naruto, listen. 2! At least wait for it. Wah! Naruto launched himself off the cliff like a human cannonball, coating his entire body in armament hockey. He soared through the air in a perfect arc, and somewhere in that flight, he shouted, Soru! His trajectory changed midair, something that should have been physically impossible. He curved toward the east tower, moving faster than a speeding arrow, faster than falling stone, and slammed into the wall with the force of a meteorite. The explosion was spectacular. The entire east tower shook, stone and mortar exploding outward as Naruto crashed through like the wall was made of paper. Alarms immediately started blaring throughout the compound, and shouts of confusion and panic filled the air. Guy pinched the bridge of his nose. Why do I even bother with plans? Your student is insane, Zabuza said, but there was a hint of admiration in his voice. Completely, utterly insane. Yes, Guy agreed, but he's my insane student. Come on, we should probably help him. Tazuna, Inari, stay here where it's safe. Like we'd go anywhere near that, Tazuna shouted as Guy and Zabuza charged toward the compound. Inside the east tower, Naruto landed in a crouch, surrounded by debris and shocked guards. He dusted himself off, grinning at the dozen armed men who were staring at him with expressions ranging from shock to terror. Morning, he said cheerfully. I'm looking for someone named Haku. 3rd floor, I think. Anyone want to point me in the right direction, or do I need to ask more forcefully? One of the guards, braver or more foolish than the rest, raised his sword. Kill the intruder. Wrong answer. Naruto's fist shot out, still coated in hockey. The guard flew backward, crashing into 2 of his companions and taking all 3 of them down. Anyone else want to volunteer for my fist of love? No? Excellent. Jeppo! He kicked off the air itself, jumping straight up through the ceiling. Wood and stone shattered as he crashed through the 2nd floor, then the 3rd, landing in what appeared to be a prison block. Cells lined both walls, most of them empty, but in the corner cell, a figure in white stirred. Haku? Naruto called out. The figure stood, revealing a slender person with long dark hair and a delicate, almost androgynous face. They wore a simple white kimono, and their eyes, brown and weary, fixed on Naruto with confusion. Who are you? Haku asked quietly. Naruto Uzumaki, professional ass kicker and amateur mountain puncher. Naruto walked over to the cell door, examined the lock for about half a second, then just punched it off. The entire door frame came with it, crashing to the floor. Zabuza sent me to rescue you. Well, actually, I offered to rescue you after I beat him in a fight, and he explained the situation. But same difference. Come on, we're leaving. Zabuza-sama is here? Hope flared in Haku's eyes. Is he safe? He's fine. Well, his pride is a little bruised because I punched through all his techniques, but physically, he's totally fine. Now let's go before. The walls exploded inward. No, that wasn't quite right. The walls didn't explode so much as dissolve, revealing a large man in an expensive suit surrounded by at least 30 armed guards and several dangerous-looking ninja. Gato himself was unmistakable. Short, greasy, with sunglasses and a cane, radiating smugness and cruelty. So, Gato said, his voice oily, someone dared to attack my compound. How unfortunate. For you. He gestured to his guards. Kill them both, but make it slow. I want to watch. Naruto looked at the army of thugs, then at Gato, then back at the thugs. His expression was completely unreadable. Then he started laughing. Pah! It wasn't his usual cheerful laugh. This was something darker, edged with genuine anger. Oh man, you have no idea how much I've been wanting to meet you, Gato. You're exactly as terrible as I imagined. Short, ugly, evil. You're like a cartoon villain. I love it. You dare. Gato started. Haku, Naruto said, his voice cutting through Gato's bluster like a knife. Cover your eyes for a second. This is gonna get messy. What? Now? Haku, responding to the absolute authority in that voice, covered their eyes. Naruto's expression went completely flat. The playful, goofy kid vanished, replaced by something cold and dangerous. His armament haki spread across both arms, darker and more intense than before. The air around him seemed to shimmer with pressure. Not chakra, but something else, something primal and overwhelming. Conqueror's haki, he said quietly. The pressure exploded outward like an invisible shockwave. Half the guards immediately collapsed, their eyes rolling back in their heads, unconscious before they hit the ground. The remaining guards stumbled, suddenly finding it hard to breathe, hard to think, hard to do anything but feel the overwhelming presence of the boy in front of them. Gato's sunglasses cracked. He took a step backward, his legs suddenly weak. What are you? I'm the guy who's about to teach you what happens when you hurt innocent people. Naruto's voice was arctic cold. Soru, he moved. To the guards, it must have looked like he teleported. One moment he was across the room, the next he was in the middle of them, and his fists were flying. Bone fist! A guard flew backward, ribs cracking. Shigan! His finger strike pierced through armor like it was paper. Rank Yaku! An air blade cut through 3 guards at once, sending them tumbling. Tekai! A sword shattered against his hardened body. It wasn't a fight. It was a one-sided demolition. Naruto moved through the guards like a hurricane, each strike precise and devastating. He wasn't killing. His punches were carefully calibrated to break bones and knock unconscious but not end lives. But the violence was still shocking in its intensity. Within 2 minutes, every guard was down. Only Gato remained standing, his back pressed against the wall, his face pale with terror. Please, he whimpered. I can pay you whatever you want. Money, jewels, property. I don't want your money, Naruto said, walking toward him slowly. I don't want your jewels. I don't want anything from you except this. He pulled back his fist. This is called the Fist of Love. It's called that because I love using it on scum like you. No, wait. Fist of Love. The punch caught Gato square in the face. Not at full strength. If Naruto had hit him at full strength, Gato's head would have exploded. But even pulled, the force was enough to send the crime lord flying backward through the wall, arcing through the air, and splashing into the ocean several hundred feet away. Naruto dusted off his hands, the dark coating fading. And that's how you take out the trash, he said to himself. Then he turned to Haku, his expression immediately softening back to his usual goofy grin. Okay, all clear. You can look now. Haku slowly uncovered their eyes, staring at the unconscious guards scattered everywhere, the destroyed walls, and Naruto standing in the middle of it all, like nothing significant had happened. You defeated them all? Haku whispered. By yourself. In minutes. Yeah, they were pretty weak, Naruto said casually. The guard Zabuza-san is way stronger than all of them combined. Speaking of which, we should probably go find him before Gai-sensei lectures me about proper mission protocol again. Come on. He grabbed Haku's wrist gently, though Haku noticed his grip was careful, like he was afraid of accidentally hurting them, and started leading them toward the hole he'd created in the tower. Wait, Haku said. Why would you do this? Risk yourself for someone you don't know? Naruto paused, looking back with genuine confusion. Why? Because Zabuza cares about you, and he seems like a decent guy stuck in a bad situation. Because Gato was a piece of garbage who needed to be stopped. Because it's the right thing to do. He grinned. Do I need more reasons than that? Most people would, Haku said softly. Then most people are idiots, Naruto declared. Now come on. I'm starving and I heard Wave Country has great seafood. Let's rescue complete, get paid, and then eat! Blah! They found Guy and Zabuza at the main gate, where the two had been systematically working their way through the remaining guards. Zabuza's expression when he saw Haku was almost comical, pure relief mixed with disbelief. Haku? He said quietly. Zabuza-sama. Haku ran to him and the fearsome demon of the mist caught them in a careful hug. Ah, Naruto said, grinning. That's adorable. Hey, Guy-sensei, did you see? I rescued Haku and beat up all the bad guys and threw Gato into the ocean. Mission success! You threw him into the ocean? Guy asked warily. Well, yeah, he was being annoying, so I punched him. Where else was he gonna go? It's an island. That's technically not against any rules, Guy admitted. Brutal, direct, and completely lacking in subtlety, but effective. That's my specialty, Naruto said proudly. Zabuza looked at Naruto over Haku's shoulder. Thank you, he said simply. I owe you a debt. Nah, we're good. Naruto waved him off. Just promise me that if I ever need a favor, like if I need someone to help me punch a mountain or fight a really strong enemy or something, you'll back me up. Deal, Zabuza said, and despite everything, he was smiling slightly. The journey back to Wave Country's mainland was considerably more cheerful than the journey there had been. Tazuna couldn't stop thanking them. Inari was staring at Naruto with undisguised hero worship, and even Zabuza seemed more relaxed, with Haku safely by his side. So what are you going to do now? Naruto asked Zabuza as they walked. You're a missing nin, so you can't really go back to Kiri. But Gato's gone, so you're free. Where will you go? I don't know, Zabuza admitted. Perhaps we'll travel. Find somewhere quiet where we can live in peace. Boring, Naruto declared. You should come back to Konoha. We can always use strong fighters. Plus, I need sparring partners who can actually challenge me. These mountains I keep punching are getting repetitive. Somehow I don't think the Hokage would welcome a known missing nin with open arms, Zabuza said dryly. Oh, the old man would totally be okay with it if I asked him nicely, Naruto said confidently. He's a softie. Plus, Guy-sensei can vouch for you, right, sensei? I suppose I could put in a good word, Guy said slowly. If Zabuza and Haku were willing to undergo proper evaluation and monitoring, their skills would certainly be valuable to the village. See? Easy, Naruto grinned at Zabuza. Come on, what do you say? Konoha's nice. We've got hot springs and ramen shops and training grounds I haven't destroyed yet. It's great. Zabuza and Haku exchanged glances. We'll think about it, Zabuza finally said. That's not a no. Naruto pumped his fist. Awesome. You're gonna love Konoha. Fair warning though, I tend to accidentally break things during training, so don't be surprised if you wake up to earthquakes sometimes. That's just me warming up. That's terrifying, Haku said, but they were smiling. They reached Tazuna's home as the sun was setting. It was a modest house near the bridge construction site, but it was warm and welcoming. Tazuna's daughter, Tsunami, greeted them with obvious relief at seeing her father and son safe. Thank you, she said to Naruto, bowing deeply. Thank you for protecting my family. No problem, Naruto said, scratching the back of his head. It was fun. Well, okay, the first fight was kind of boring, and I didn't get to use half my techniques, but the part where I rescued Haku and punched Gato was great. You have a very unusual definition of fun, Tsunami said weakly. They stayed for dinner, a massive spread that Tsunami had clearly been preparing all day. Naruto ate enough for 5 people, pausing occasionally to fall asleep mid-bite, and then wake up and continue eating like nothing had happened. He regaled them with stories of his training, his missions, and his dream. I'm going to be the strongest ninja in Konoha, he declared around a mouthful of fish. No, the strongest ninja in the world. I'll punch so many mountains they'll run out of mountains to name, and then I'll punch some more, and they'll have to invent new words for geological features. Bwah! That's ambitious, Tazuna said. Ambitious is my middle name. Well, no, actually my middle name is... Wait, do I have a middle name? Huh? I should ask the old man about that. Naruto paused. Anyway, the point is, I'm never going to stop getting stronger. That's what it means to really live. Constant improvement, constant challenge, constant punching. Inari, who had been quiet through most of dinner, suddenly spoke up. Naruto ni, he said, using the honorific without thinking. When you fought Zabuza, weren't you scared at all? Scared? Naruto looked genuinely confused by the question. Why would I be scared? I'm way stronger than him. Well, okay, maybe not way stronger, but definitely stronger. And even if I wasn't, he grinned, I'd still fight, because that's what it means to be a ninja, to stand up and fight even when you're scared, to protect people even if it's dangerous, to punch your problems directly in the face until they stop being problems. That last part is just you, Guy said. And it works, Naruto insisted. Inari was staring at him with shining eyes. I want to be strong like you someday. Then train, Naruto said immediately. Train every day. Push yourself past your limits. Find what you're good at and become the absolute best at it. And never, ever give up, no matter how hard it gets. His expression turned serious. Strength isn't just about punching things, though that's definitely part of it. It's about having the will to keep going when everything's trying to stop you. It's about believing in yourself even when no one else does. It's about... He trailed off, then grinned. Okay, it's mostly about punching things, but the other stuff is important too. They all laughed, even Zabuza. There was something infectious about Naruto's enthusiasm, his absolute certainty that problems could be solved with enough determination and well-placed punches. After dinner, Naruto excused himself to do his evening training. Inari followed him outside and watched in awe as Naruto punched a nearby boulder into gravel, then used the gravel to practice his precision by seeing how many pieces he could hit with air blades from his Tempest kick. Every piece, Naruto said, concentrating. Gotta hit every single piece. That's how you develop control. His leg flashed out, creating dozens of air blades that struck the falling gravel with pinpoint accuracy. See? It's all about practice and, whoops, missed one. A single piece of gravel fell to the ground untouched. Damn, gotta do it again. Again? Inari asked. But you hit almost all of them. Almost isn't good enough, Naruto said seriously. If I miss one piece of gravel, that could mean missing an enemy in a real fight, and missing in a fight means people get hurt. So I train until I don't miss. He gathered up another boulder, pulverized it with a casual punch, and started again. Inari watched for 2 hours as Naruto repeatedly destroyed boulders and practiced hitting every piece. The older boy never got frustrated, never complained. He just kept going, over and over, until finally he managed to hit every single piece of gravel from a destroyed boulder. Yes! Naruto pumped his fist. Perfect! Okay, now I need to do it 5 more times to make sure it wasn't a fluke. You're crazy, Inari said, but his voice was full of admiration. Crazy is just another word for dedicated. Naruto grinned at him. Want to try? I can find you a smaller rock to punch. They trained together until late into the night, Naruto teaching Inari basic stances and breathing techniques, patiently correcting his form and encouraging every small improvement. It was a side of Naruto that few people saw, the serious teacher beneath the goofy exterior, genuinely invested in helping someone grow stronger. When they finally went back inside, Inari was exhausted but glowing with pride. He'd managed to crack a small rock with his punch, nothing compared to Naruto's casual mountain-destroying force, but a real accomplishment for a civilian child with no training. You did good, kid, Naruto said, ruffling Inari's hair. Keep training like that, and in a few years you'll be punching boulders. Maybe not mountains, that takes special talent, but definitely boulders. I'll do it, Inari said with absolute determination. I'll get strong enough to protect my family, just like you. Naruto's grin softened into something genuine and warm. Yeah, you will. The next morning brought an unexpected development. They were eating breakfast. Well, Naruto was eating enough breakfast for 10 people, while the others picked at normal portions, when a messenger bird arrived at the window. Guy untied the scroll from its leg and read it quickly, his expression growing serious. What is it? Naruto asked through a mouthful of rice. Emergency message from Konoha, Guy said grimly. There's been an incident. The Hokage is calling all available ninja back to the village immediately. Incident? Naruto swallowed his food. What kind of incident? It doesn't say, just that it's urgent and potentially dangerous. Guy looked at Tazuna apologetically. I'm sorry, but we need to leave immediately. The mission is technically complete. Gato is dealt with. The assassins are neutralized. You should be safe to finish your bridge. Of course, Tazuna waved them off. Go, your village needs you. Naruto stood, his usual grin replaced by focused intensity. Sensei, how fast can we get back to Konoha? At our best pace, we can make it in 3 days. Not good enough. Naruto turned to Zabuza. You and Haku should come with us. If something's threatening Konoha, we'll need all the strong fighters we can get. Plus, this is your chance to prove you're serious about wanting to help the village. Zabuza considered for a moment, then nodded. Agreed. We'll come. Great, then here's what we're gonna do. Naruto cracked his knuckles, and his grin returned. sharp and excited. I'm gonna carry everyone, use Soru the entire way, and we'll be back in Konoha in 6 hours. Naruto, Guy said warningly. Last time you tried that. I know. Property damage and traumatized civilians, but this is an emergency. The village needs us. So here's what's gonna happen. Sensei, you're gonna use your dynamic entry technique to launch us in the right direction. Then I'm gonna use Soru and Geppo to cover the distance, carrying everyone. It'll be fast, it'll be loud, and it'll probably cause several sonic booms, but we'll get there fast. Several sonic booms? Guy repeated. Maybe more than several, Naruto admitted. Look, I've been practicing my speed techniques, and I'm pretty sure I can break the sound barrier if I really push it. This seems like a great time to test that theory. That is a terrible idea, everyone shouted at once. Perfect. Naruto ignored them completely, already moving to gather supplies. Everyone pack up. We leave in 5 minutes. Zabuza, Haku, you're riding on my back. Sensei, you can probably keep up on your own, but if you fall behind, I'm circling back for you. I will not fall behind, Guy declared, his competitive spirit immediately triggered. The beautiful green beast of Konoha never falls behind his student. Wah! That's the spirit! Okay, everyone, let's go. The goodbye was rushed but heartfelt. Tazuna and Tsunami thanked them profusely. Inari extracted a promise from Naruto to visit again someday, and then they were off. 2 Konoha ninja, 2 missing nin, and 1 absolutely insane plan. True to his word, Naruto made everyone climb on, Zabuza and Haku on his back, though they were both considerably taller than him. It should have been impossible. It should have collapsed under the weight. Instead, Naruto just grinned and said, Soru! They blurred. The world became a streak of color as Naruto ran at speeds that should have been physically impossible. Trees whipped past so fast they were just green smears. The ground beneath them became an indistinct blur. And behind them, Guy kept pace, his own speed techniques allowing him to match Naruto's impossible velocity. This is insane! Zabuza shouted over the wind. Isn't it great? Naruto shouted back. Geppo! He kicked off the air itself, and suddenly they were running through the sky, jumping from invisible platform to invisible platform. Below them, the landscape spread out like a map, forests, rivers, mountains all passing by at breakneck speed. How is this possible? Haku called out, their voice nearly lost in the wind. Training, Naruto replied. Lots and lots of training, and stubbornness, mostly stubbornness. They covered in 6 hours what should have taken 3 days. They did cause 7 sonic booms, startled 4 different villages, caused a minor panic in 1 town where people thought they were being attacked by some kind of speed demon, and probably traumatized several civilians. Naruto called it a successful journey. They arrived at Konoha's gates just as the sun was reaching its zenith. Naruto skidded to a stop with such force that he left twin trenches in the ground from his heels, setting down his passengers gently despite the violent stop. 6 hours, he announced proudly. New personal record, blah! Zabuza and Haku collapsed to their knees, looking distinctly green. Guy arrived moments later, breathing hard but grinning. Youthful, he declared. What an invigorating run. Naruto, you've improved your speed significantly since our last training session. Thanks, Sensei. Naruto was already walking toward the village gates, where the guards were staring at them with expressions of shock and concern. Yo, we got an emergency summons. What's going on? The gate guard, a chunin named Kotetsu, swallowed hard. The Hokage wants everyone in the mission room immediately. There's been an incident with the Uchiha clan. Naruto's grin faded. The Uchiha? What kind of incident? I don't know the details. Just get to the mission room, now. They rushed through the village, Naruto using Soru to move even faster now that he didn't have passengers. The usually bustling streets of Konoha were unusually quiet, and there was tension in the air, a kind of nervous energy that made Naruto's instincts prickle. Something bad had happened, something very bad. The mission room was packed when they arrived. Dozens of jonin and anbu filled the space, all talking in low, urgent voices. At the front of the room, the Hokage stood with a grim expression, and beside him, Naruto's eyes widened. Sasuke Uchiha, one of his former academy classmates, stood there looking empty. His eyes were hollow, his posture mechanical, like he was moving through a nightmare. What happened? Naruto asked, pushing through the crowd to the front. Nobody stopped him. His reputation preceded him, and most of the ninja gave him space instinctively. Hiruzen's expression was grave. Last night, there was a massacre in the Uchiha compound. The entire clan, they're gone. All of them, except for Sasuke. The room went completely silent. Gone? Naruto repeated slowly. What do you mean, gone? Dead, Hiruzen said quietly. Killed by one of their own. Itachi Uchiha, Sasuke's older brother, apparently murdered the entire clan in a single night, then fled the village. Naruto stared at the Hokage, processing this information. Then he looked at Sasuke, really looked at him, and saw the shattered boy beneath the empty exterior. Why? Naruto asked. Why would someone do that to their own family? We don't know, Hiruzen admitted. Itachi left no explanation, no demands. He simply murdered everyone and disappeared. We have teams searching for him, but so far, no success. Naruto walked over to Sasuke slowly. The other boy didn't react, didn't even seem to see him. Up close, Naruto could see the dried tear tracks on his face, the trembling in his hands that he was trying to hide. Without warning, Naruto punched him. Not hard, nothing like his usual devastating strikes, just a light tap to the shoulder, enough to get Sasuke's attention without causing pain. Ow, Sasuke said mechanically. Why did you? Because you were disappearing, Naruto said simply. Vanishing into your own head. Shutting down. I've seen it before. People who experience trauma and just stop being people. I'm not going to let that happen to you. You don't understand, Sasuke said, his voice hollow. You can't possibly. You're right. I don't understand what you're going through. Naruto crossed his arms. I'm an orphan. I never knew my parents. But you know what I do understand? Loss, anger, the desire to get stronger, sir, so nothing bad can ever happen again. He leaned in close, his blue eyes intense. So here's what's going to happen, Uchiha. You're going to survive this. You're going to get stronger. And someday, when you're ready, you're going to face your brother and get the answers you need. But you're not doing it alone, because nobody should have to carry something like this by themselves. Why do you care? Sasuke asked bitterly. We barely know each other. Because I can, Naruto said, echoing what he told Zabuza. Because it's the right thing to do. And because... He grinned, though it was softer than usual. Because I know what it's like to be alone, and I don't want that for anyone else. So congratulations, Sasuke. You just got yourself a friend, whether you want one or not. For the first time since the massacre, something flickered in Sasuke's eyes. Not hope, not yet, but maybe the beginning of something that could become hope. Hiruzen watched this exchange with quiet approval. Then he addressed the room. All teams are on high alert. We don't know if Itachi will attempt to return or if there are other threats we haven't identified. I want rotating patrols around the village and... Old man, Naruto interrupted. What do you need me to do? You, Naruto, are going to continue your regular training and missions, Hiruzen said firmly. You're powerful, but you're still a genin. This situation requires... I beat a Jonin-level missing nin yesterday, Naruto said flatly. I stormed a criminal compound single-handedly. I can break mountains with my punches. So with all due respect, sir, stop treating me like a kid and tell me what you really need me to do. The room went quiet again. Several Jonin shifted uncomfortably. They'd all heard the reports about Naruto's power, but hearing him speak with such authority was still jarring. Hiruzen stared at Naruto for a long moment, then slowly smiled. You're right. You're not a normal genin. Very well, Naruto. I'm assigning you as Sasuke's primary protection detail. If Itachi returns, if any other threat targets the last Uchiha, you'll be the first line of defense. Got it! Naruto turned back to Sasuke. Hear that? You're stuck with me now? We'll train together, eat together, and I'll teach you some of my techniques so you can get strong enough to face your brother someday. Sound good? I don't need your help, Sasuke said, but his voice lacked conviction. Too bad. You're getting it anyway. Naruto grabbed Sasuke's wrist. Come on. First thing we're doing is getting you some real food. You look like you haven't eaten in days. Then we're going to start your training. If you want to get strong enough to face Itachi, you're going to need to work harder than you've ever worked in your life. Lucky for you. That feral grin returned. I'm an expert in working harder than should be humanly possible. He dragged Sasuke out of the mission room before anyone could protest, leaving a room full of stunned ninja in his wake. That boy, one of the Jonin muttered. He's something else. Yes, Hiruzen agreed, watching Naruto go with a mixture of fondness and concern. He certainly is, and I think Sasuke Uchiha just became very, very lucky. If anyone can help him survive this tragedy and come out stronger. The Hokage smiled slightly. It's Naruto Uzumaki, the boy who punches mountains and never gives up. 3 months passed. 3 months of intensive training. 3 months of pushing limits. 3 months of Naruto dragging Sasuke through the most brutal, exhausting, absolutely insane training regimen the Uchiha had ever experienced. They started before dawn every day, with Naruto's signature greeting of punching a boulder into gravel right outside Sasuke's window. They practiced basic taijutsu until Sasuke could barely stand, then Naruto made him practice more. They worked on chakra control, speed training, strength conditioning, every aspect of being a ninja refined and perfected through sheer repetitive effort. And slowly, gradually, Sasuke began to change. The hollow look in his eyes started to fade, replaced by determination. The mechanical movements became purposeful. The broken boy began to forge himself into something stronger. Again, Naruto shouted as Sasuke attempted to land a hit on him. You're too slow! Faster, faster! Sasuke's fist shot out, enhanced with chakra, moving at speeds that would have impressed most chunin. Naruto blocked it casually with one finger. Better, Naruto acknowledged, but still not good enough. You need to be faster than that to keep up with me, and I'm not even close to Itachi's level from what I've heard. Again! They sparred for hours, Naruto holding back but still pushing Sasuke to his absolute limits. When Sasuke collapsed from exhaustion, Naruto made him do conditioning exercises. When those were done, they practiced kunai throwing until Sasuke could hit a target blindfolded. Why are you doing this? Sasuke asked one evening as they sat recovering from a particularly brutal training session. Why are you helping me? Naruto was munching on rice crackers, his usual goofy grin back in place. Told you already, because I can, because it's right, and because... He looked at Sasuke seriously. Because I see myself in you. Not the whole dead family thing, I never had a family to lose, but the desire to get stronger, the need to prove yourself, that determination to never be weak again. I get that. I've lived that my entire life. Your training is insane, Sasuke said, but there was no heat in it. No normal person trains like this. Good thing I'm not normal, Naruto laughed. Wah! I'm the guy who punches mountains for fun. Of course my training is insane, but it works, doesn't it? You're already twice as strong as you were 3 months ago. Sasuke had to admit that was true. Under Naruto's tutelage, he progressed faster than he thought possible. His taijutsu was sharper, his ninjutsu more refined, his chakra control significantly improved. He still wasn't anywhere close to Naruto's level, nobody their age was, but he was getting stronger every day. Thank you, Sasuke said quietly. Don't thank me yet. Naruto jumped to his feet. We're just getting started. Tomorrow, I'm gonna teach you the basics of my Tekai technique, the Iron Body. It'll let you harden your skin to defend against attacks. After that, we'll work on Soru so you can move faster. And then, his grin turned absolutely feral. Then I'll teach you the real secret to getting strong. What secret? You gotta find something worth protecting, Naruto said seriously. Something that makes you want to get stronger, not just for yourself, but for others. That's when you really start to grow. So think about it, Sasuke. What are you getting stronger for? Just revenge? Or something more? Sasuke stared at him, processing those words. He'd been so focused on revenge, on killing Itachi, that he hadn't thought about anything beyond that goal. But Naruto's question made him pause. What came after revenge? What would he do once Itachi was dead? I don't know, he admitted. Then figure it out. Naruto clapped him on the shoulder hard enough to make Sasuke wince. But while you're figuring it out, keep training. Because whether you're doing this for revenge or something else, you're gonna need to be strong. Strong enough that nobody can ever hurt you or the people you care about again. Blah! They trained every day for months, and the results were impossible to ignore. Sasuke was growing stronger at an unprecedented rate, pushed forward by Naruto's relentless encouragement and brutal training methods. But more than that, he was starting to heal. The empty look was gone, replaced by fierce determination. He smiled occasionally, small, barely there smiles, but real nonetheless. And through it all, Naruto remained exactly who he'd always been. Loud, boisterous, eating constantly, falling asleep at inappropriate moments, picking his nose during serious conversations, and absolutely, undeniably committed to helping his friend become stronger. The three of them. The mission came on a Tuesday. Naruto and Sasuke were in the training ground working on chakra control exercises when Guy arrived with urgent orders. The three of them, Naruto, Sasuke, and Guy, were being sent on an A-rank mission to investigate a series of attacks on villages along the Fire Country border. A-rank? Naruto's eyes lit up. Finally! I've been waiting for a real challenge. What are we fighting? Bandits? Missing Nin? Demon monsters? Please say demon monsters. I've always wanted to punch a demon. We don't know what we're fighting, Guy said seriously. That's what makes it A-rank. Several villages have been attacked by an unknown force. No survivors, no witnesses, just destruction. The Hokage wants us to investigate and eliminate the threat. No survivors? Sasuke's expression darkened. How many villages? 4 so far, Guy said grimly. And the attacks are getting closer to Konoha. We need to stop whatever this is before it reaches our borders. Then let's go. Naruto was already moving, gathering supplies with practiced efficiency. Sasuke, grab your gear. Sensei, lead the way. We've got some mystery attackers to punch. They left within the hour, moving at a fast pace toward the border. Naruto could have gotten them there in hours using his speed techniques, but Guy insisted on a more measured approach. They needed to conserve energy for whatever fight awaited them. The first village they reached was devastating. Not a single building stood intact. Scorch marks covered every surface, and there was a strange, acrid smell in the air that Naruto couldn't identify. No bodies. Whatever had attacked had apparently taken or destroyed them completely. What could do this? Sasuke whispered, staring at the destruction. Naruto closed his eyes, extending his observation haki to its maximum range. There's something nearby. Something wrong. It doesn't feel like normal chakra. It's darker, corrupted almost. His eyes snapped open. It's moving toward the next village. Fast. If we don't intercept it, more people are gonna die. Then we intercept it, Guy said firmly. Naruto, can you track it? Already on it. Naruto was moving, using Soro to cover ground quickly while still staying within sight of his teammates. This way! Come on! They ran for 20 minutes, moving through dense forest before Naruto suddenly stopped. His entire body tensed and his expression went completely serious. It's here, he said quietly. Where? Guy scanned the trees, seeing nothing. Everywhere. The forest erupted. Not with enemies, but with shadows. Living darkness that moved like liquid, pouring between the trees, coating the ground, reaching toward them with appendages that should not exist in the natural world. What the hell is that? Sasuke shouted, jumping backward as a shadow tendril lashed out. No idea. Naruto grinned, though his eyes were sharp with focus. But I'm gonna punch it and find out! Armament haki! His fists coated with that dark, metallic sheen, and he launched himself at the nearest shadow mass. His punch connected, creating a shock wave that dispersed part of the darkness, but it immediately reformed, flowing back together like water. It's regenerating, Guy observed, using his speed to dodge multiple attacks. Physical attacks aren't effective. Physical attacks aren't effective? Naruto repeated. Wah! Then I'll just hit it harder. He pulled back his fist, and the dark coating intensified, spreading up his entire arm. Blue hole! The punch created a shock wave that tore through the shadow mass, dispersing it over a wide area. For a moment, it seemed to work. The darkness scattered, blown apart by the force. Then it reformed again, faster than before. Okay, Naruto said, watching the shadows coalesce. That's annoying, Sasuke. Can your fire techniques hurt it? I'll try. Sasuke made quick hand seals. Fire style, fireball jutsu. A massive ball of flame erupted from his mouth, slamming into the shadow mass. This time, the darkness recoiled, shrieking in a sound that made their ears ring. The flames seemed to actually damage it, burning away sections that didn't immediately regenerate. Fireworks! Guy shouted. Sasuke, focus your attacks on. The shadows exploded outward, multiplying, splitting into dozens of separate masses. Each one formed into a vaguely humanoid shape, with glowing red eyes and clawed hands that dripped with darkness. Well, Naruto said, looking at the army of shadow creatures now surrounding them. This just got interesting. Sasuke, you handle the ones on the left with your fire. Sensei, you take the right. I'll handle the middle and anything that breaks through. There are too many, Sasuke protested. Then we'll make do. Naruto charged forward, his fists blazing with haki. These fists have crushed countless enemies. A few shadow monsters won't change that. Wah! The battle was chaos. Pure, absolute chaos. The shadow creatures moved with unnatural speed and coordination, attacking from multiple angles simultaneously. Sasuke's fire techniques were effective, but he couldn't maintain that level of output forever. Guy was moving at incredible speeds, his attacks destroying shadow creatures left and right, but they kept reforming. And Naruto? Naruto was in the center of it all, a whirlwind of destruction. Every punch obliterated a shadow creature. Every kick created air blades that cut through multiple enemies. He used Soru to move between targets, Tekai to tank hits that would have killed most ninja, Geppo to attack from above when they tried to surround him. But even he was starting to struggle. There were just too many, and they kept regenerating. This isn't working, Guy shouted. We need to find the source. These creatures must be connected to something. Naruto paused mid-punch, extending his observation haki again. There, beneath the forest floor, he could feel it. A massive chakra signature, dark and corrupted, pulsing with malevolent energy. This was the source, the thing creating and controlling these shadow creatures. Underground, Naruto called out. About 50 meters down. That's where the real enemy is. How are we supposed to reach it? Sasuke demanded, burning another shadow creature. Naruto's grin turned absolutely feral. Easy! I'm gonna punch through the ground. That's impossible, Sasuke shouted. 50 meters of solid earth. Watch me! Naruto coated both fists in armament haki, then jumped high into the air using Geppo. At the apex of his jump, he pulled back both arms, and the dark coating intensified until it was almost black, radiating visible waves of power. Galaxy impact! He plummeted toward the ground like a meteor, both fists extended, and the moment he made contact, the world exploded. The shockwave was unbelievable. It rippled outward in a perfect circle, flattening trees for hundreds of meters. The ground cracked, fissured, and then simply gave way, creating a massive crater that descended straight down into the earth. Naruto fell with the debris, disappearing into the hole he'd created. Guy and Sasuke stared at the crater in absolute shock. The shadow creatures had all frozen, their connection to their source apparently disrupted. Then, from deep within the crater, they heard Naruto's voice. Found it! Get down here! They jumped into the crater, using chakra to cushion their fall, and descended into a natural cave system that Naruto's attack had exposed. At the bottom, illuminated by strange bioluminescent fungi, they found Naruto standing in front of a massive thing. It looked like a shadow given form and substance, a writhing mass of darkness roughly the size of a house, with countless eyes and mouths opening and closing across its surface. It pulsed with corrupted chakra, and just looking at it made their skin crawl. What is that? Sasuke whispered. No idea, Naruto said cheerfully, but it's definitely the source of those shadow creatures. So here's the plan. I'm gonna punch it until it dies. You two provide support and make sure nothing sneaks up on me. Questions? That's not a plan, Guy protested. We need to. But Naruto was already moving, charging the shadow mass with his fists blazing. The creature responded immediately, launching dozens of tendrils at him, each one sharp enough to pierce steel. Naruto dodged with Kami, his body flowing like paper, avoiding attacks by millimeters. When he couldn't dodge, he blocked with Tekai, his hardened body deflecting strikes that should have killed him. And when he found an opening, he struck with devastating force. Bone Fist! His punch sank deep into the shadow mass, creating a crater in its surface. The creature shrieked, pulling away, but Naruto followed, pressing his advantage. Shigan! His finger strike pierced through what might have been an eye. Rankyaku! Air blades cut through tentacles. Guy and Sasuke provided support, Guy using his dynamic entry to smash through attacking tendrils, while Sasuke's fire techniques burned away the darkness. The three of them worked in perfect sync, covering each other's weaknesses, creating openings for devastating attacks. But the creature was adapting. It was learning their patterns, anticipating their attacks, and slowly, inevitably, it was gaining the advantage. A tendril caught Naruto off guard, wrapping around his leg and yanking him off balance. More tendrils lashed out, Too many to dodge, too fast to block. "Naruto!" Sasuke shouted. Time seemed to slow. Naruto felt the tendrils closing in, felt the corrupted chakra they radiated, felt the killing intent behind every strike. He could dodge some, maybe even most, but not all of them, so he stopped trying to dodge. Instead, he closed his eyes and reached deep inside himself, finding that power he'd been developing for years, that presence, that will, that absolute certainty that he was strong enough to protect what mattered. "Conqueror's Haki!" he roared, and his will exploded outward like a physical force. The shadow creature froze. Every tendril, every mouth, every eye stopped moving as if hitting an invisible wall. The corrupted chakra recoiled, unable to withstand the sheer force of Naruto's presence. And in that moment of frozen time, Naruto pulled back both fists and poured everything he had into one final attack. Both arms coated in armament haki so dense it looked like solid metal. His conqueror's haki maintaining pressure on the creature, keeping it immobilized. Every ounce of strength, every drop of power, every bit of determination channeled into his fists. "These fists have crushed countless enemies," he shouted. "They've shattered mountains, they've never been defeated, and they're not starting now." He launched himself forward with Soru, moving faster than he'd ever moved before, and drove both fists directly into the creature's core. Galaxy impact! The explosion was biblical. The cave system shattered, the ceiling collapsed, and a pillar of dark energy shot up through the earth, visible for miles around. The shockwave rippled outward, destroying what remained of the forest, creating a crater that would become a landmark. When the dust settled, Guy and Sasuke found themselves on the surface again, thrown clear by the explosion. The cave was gone, collapsed completely, and standing in the center of a massive crater, his fist still smoking, was Naruto. The shadow creature was gone, not defeated, not scattered, completely and utterly obliterated. Naruto looked up at his companions, grinned, and gave a thumbs up. "Mission complete! Bah!" He swayed slightly. "Actually, I think I'm gonna pass out now. That was a lot." He collapsed unconscious before he hit the ground. Guy and Sasuke rushed to him, checking his condition. He was exhausted, his chakra depleted, but alive and breathing steadily. Relief washed over them both. "He did it," Sasuke said quietly, staring at the crater Naruto had created. "He actually destroyed that thing single-handedly." "That's Naruto Uzumaki," Guy said proudly, lifting his unconscious student carefully. "The most powerful genin Konoha has ever produced, the boy who punches mountains and never gives up." He looked at Sasuke seriously. "That power you just witnessed? That determination? That absolute refusal to lose? That's what you're training to match. Think you can do it?" Sasuke looked at the crater, then at Naruto's peaceful sleeping face. Despite everything, the exhaustion, the danger, the near-death experience, Naruto looked content, like he'd just completed a satisfying training session rather than life-or-death combat. "Yeah," Sasuke said, feeling determination burn in his chest. "I can do it. I will do it. Because that's what it means to be Naruto's friend, to push yourself beyond your limits and never give up." "Youthful," Guy exclaimed, tears streaming down his face. "That's the spirit. Now come on, let's get back to the village. The Hokage needs to know about this threat, and Naruto needs medical attention and probably several dozen meals to restore his energy." They made their way back to Konoha carrying Naruto, who slept through the entire journey, occasionally mumbling about rice crackers and mountains in his dreams. When Naruto finally woke up 3 days later, it was to find half the village's leadership in his hospital room. "What?" he said groggily, sitting up. "Why is everyone here? Did something happen?" "You destroyed a demon," the Hokage said flatly. "You created a crater half a mile wide. You used techniques nobody has ever seen before. And you somehow did all of this while still technically being a genin." "Oh," Naruto scratched his head sheepishly. "Yeah, I guess that happened. Is everyone okay? Did we save the villages?" "The threat has been eliminated," Hiruzen confirmed. "Thanks to you and your team, no more villages will be attacked. However, we need to have a serious discussion about your abilities, Naruto. Those techniques you used, the way you coat your fists in that dark energy, the impossible speed, the way you knocked out that demon with nothing but your presence. What exactly are those?" Naruto grinned. "Those are my special techniques. I call the dark coating armament haki. It makes my punches way stronger. The speed technique is called Soru. The presence thing is Conqueror's Haki. It lets me impose my will on weaker opponents. And I've got a bunch more techniques too. There's Geppo for air walking, Takai for defense, Shigan for piercing attacks. Where did you learn these techniques? Kakashi interrupted, his visible eyes sharp with interest. I made them up, Naruto said proudly. Well, I didn't really make them up so much as figured them out. Like one day I was training and I realized I could coat my fists in this weird energy that made my punches stronger. So I practiced with it until I could control it. Then I figured out how to use the same energy for defense and offense, and eventually for that presence technique. The movement stuff came from trying to figure out how to move faster without using chakra. I wanted techniques that worked even if my chakra was exhausted. The room was silent as everyone processed this. Most ninjas spent years learning techniques from scrolls or teachers. Naruto had apparently just invented his own combat system from scratch based on instinct and training. That's, Hiruzen started, then paused. That's remarkable, Naruto. These techniques of yours, this Haki system, it's completely unique. Nothing like it exists in any of the 5 great nations. Cool, Naruto said. That means I'm special. Wah! Does this mean I get promoted? I feel like destroying a demon should count for something. Maybe skip a few ranks? Go straight to Jonin? We'll discuss promotions later, Hiruzen said, though he was smiling slightly. For now, focus on recovering. You depleted your chakra reserves completely and your body needs time to heal. Oh, but I feel fine. To demonstrate, Naruto jumped out of bed and immediately face planted onto the floor. Okay, maybe I'm still a little tired. A little? Guy helped him back into bed. Naruto, you were unconscious for 3 days. Your body needs rest. 3 days? Naruto looked genuinely distressed. But that means I missed 3 days of training. I've got to catch up. Where's Sasuke? We need to spar. I want to test if my galaxy impact got stronger after using it at full power. No training, everyone shouted at once. You're no fun, Naruto grumbled, but he settled back into the bed. Fine, but tomorrow I'm starting training again and nobody can stop me. We'll see about that, Hiruzen said dryly. Naruto, there's one more thing we need to discuss. Those techniques of yours, would you be willing to teach them to other Konoha ninja? Naruto tilted his head, considering. I don't know if I can. Like I can teach the movements, the Soru and Geppo and stuff, but the Haki? That feels like something you have to figure out yourself. It's about will and determination and I don't know how to explain it. It's like trying to teach someone how to breathe. You just do it. But you could try, Kakashi pressed. Even if only a few ninja could learn these techniques, it would significantly increase Konoha's combat capabilities. I guess? Naruto shrugged. Sure, I'll try. But fair warning, my teaching methods are pretty intense. Like punch boulders until they're gravel intense. Not everyone can handle that. We'll find volunteers, Hiruzen assured him. For now, rest. You've earned it. The room slowly emptied, leaving just Guy, Sasuke, and Naruto. Sasuke sat in the corner, and for the first time since they'd become friends, he was smiling, really smiling. You saved us, he said quietly. When that creature had us surrounded when we were about to die, you pulled out power I didn't even know existed and saved us. That's what friends do, Naruto said simply. They protect each other. That's why we get strong, not just for ourselves, but for the people we care about. He grinned. Plus, I really wanted to punch that demon. It was annoying me. Sasuke laughed, a real, genuine laugh, and it was such a rare sound that both Naruto and Guy stared at him in surprise. What? Sasuke said, still smiling. You're ridiculous, Naruto. Absolutely ridiculous, but his expression softened. Thank you for everything, for training me, for protecting me, for giving me a reason to keep going. I won't forget this. Good, Naruto said, because tomorrow we're training twice as hard. I've got plans for your development, and he yawned widely, his jaw cracking. Actually, you know what? I'm super tired. Think I'm gonna sleep now. And just like that, he was out, snoring softly. Guy and Sasuke exchanged glances. He's impossible, Sasuke said, but there was fondness in his voice. Yes, Guy agreed, but he's our impossible friend, and he's going to change this world, Sasuke. Mark my words, Naruto Uzumaki is going to become a legend. 1 year later, the training ground was packed. Word had spread that Naruto Uzumaki was demonstrating his unique techniques for a select group of jonin volunteers, and nobody wanted to miss it. Even ninja who weren't participating had shown up to watch. Naruto stood in the center of the ground, now 13 years old and somehow even more muscular than before. His hair was longer, wilder, and his grin was as confident as ever. Beside him stood Sasuke, who had grown taller and leaner, his eyes sharp with determination. And behind them, Guy beamed with pride. "Okay," Naruto announced, his voice carrying across the training ground. "So you all want to learn my techniques? Great, I love teaching, but fair warning, this is going to be hard, like really hard. Mountain punching hard. If anyone wants to quit now, nobody's going to judge you." Not a single person moved. Bah! I love it. Okay then, let's start with the basics. My fighting style is built on 3 core principles: overwhelming strength, impossible speed, and unbreakable will. The first 2 you can train. The third, he tapped his head. The third has to come from inside you. It's about believing in yourself so much that reality has to bend around your determination. He demonstrated armament haki, coating his fist in that dark metallic sheen. This is armament haki. It's like, imagine taking all your determination, all your fighting spirit, and compressing it into an invisible armor around your body. It makes you hit harder and defend better. To activate it, you need to. He punched a nearby boulder. The rock exploded into dust, the shockwave knocking several watching ninja off their feet. Believe that your punch is strong enough to break anything. Really believe it with every fiber of your being. That's the key. It's not a chakra technique. It's pure willpower made manifest. The jonin watching exchanged skeptical glances. That sounded impossible. But they'd all seen what Naruto could do. If anyone could teach the impossible, it was him. For the next several hours, Naruto demonstrated each of his techniques: Soru's high-speed movement, Geppo's airwalking, Tekai's body hardening, all of it. He explained the principles behind each move, the training methods he'd used, the mindset required. And at the end, he smiled at the assembled ninja and said, "Remember, these techniques aren't about being strong. They're about becoming strong. It's about pushing yourself past your limits every single day, about refusing to give up no matter how hard it gets, about believing in yourself so much that the world has no choice but to acknowledge your strength." He raised his fist, still coated in haki. "These fists have crushed countless enemies. They've shattered mountains, and they'll never stop getting stronger, because that's what it means to really live." Bwah! The training ground erupted in cheers. Inspired by Naruto's words, by his example, dozens of ninja began training with renewed determination. Some would fail, some would give up, but a few, a precious few, would succeed in learning these techniques, and they would go on to become legends in their own right. But that was a story for another day. For now, Naruto Uzumaki stood in the center of that training ground, surrounded by friends and admirers, his fists still smoking from demonstration punches, his laugh echoing across Konoha. He was 13 years old. He was already stronger than most jonin. His techniques were revolutionizing how Konoha thought about combat, and his legend was only beginning. The monster of Konoha, the mountain crusher, the boy with fists that had never known defeat, Naruto Uzumaki, who embodied the spirit of Monkey D. Garp in a world of ninja, who refused to accept limits, who protected his friends with overwhelming force, like who approached every challenge with a grin and absolute confidence. This was not the Naruto from canon. This was something else entirely. This was a force of nature, a living weapon, a hero in the making. And his story was far from over. In the distance, watching from the Hokage Tower, Hiruzen Sarutobi smiled as he observed Naruto teaching, inspiring, changing the village through sheer force of personality. "That boy," he said to himself, "he really is going to change the world." Behind him in the shadows, an Anbu operative materialized. "Hokage-sama, we've received reports of movement from Otogakure. Orochimaru may be planning something." Hiruzen's expression turned serious. "Keep monitoring the situation, and..." He looked back at Naruto, still laughing and training with his students. "Make sure Naruto is informed. If Orochimaru makes a move against Konoha, we'll need our strongest defenders ready." "Hi, Hokage-sama." The Anbu vanished, leaving Hiruzen alone with his thoughts. Orochimaru, One of the legendary seinen and a former student had become a missing nin years ago, obsessed with forbidden jutsu and immortality. If he was planning an attack on Konoha, but Hiruzen pushed those dark thoughts aside. For now, there was peace. For now, his village was safe. And for now, Naruto Uzumaki was training the next generation of Konoha's defenders, inspiring them with his strength and his spirit. Whatever challenges lay ahead, whatever enemies threatened their home, Hiruzen knew one thing for certain. With Naruto Uzumaki protecting Konoha, with those fists that had crushed mountains and demons alike, the village would survive. It would more than survive. It would thrive. The Anbu operative vanished into shadow, leaving Hiruzen Sarutobi alone in his office, staring out at the training ground where Naruto continued demonstrating techniques to eager students. The afternoon sun cast long shadows across Konoha, and somewhere in those shadows, threats were gathering. Orochimaru. The name alone sent chills through veteran ninja who remembered the seinen's brilliance twisted into obsession. Reports indicated movement from Otogakure, strange chakra signatures near the borders, whispers of forbidden experiments reaching new heights of depravity. But Hiruzen's concerns evaporated when he looked at Naruto, 13 years old and already stronger than most jonin, teaching the next generation with infectious enthusiasm, his laugh carrying across the village like a promise of protection. Whatever Orochimaru was planning, Konoha had Naruto Uzumaki. That would have to be enough. Naruto finished his demonstration by punching another boulder into gravel, then using Rankyaku to precisely strike every single piece as it fell. The watching ninja erupted in applause, and Naruto grinned widely, scratching the back of his head. See? Easy. Just gotta practice like 10,000 times and you'll get it. He yawned massively, his jaw cracking. Anyway, I'm gonna go get some rice crackers. Training makes me hungry. Bah! Naruto, Guy called out. Remember, you promised to help Sasuke with his fire technique integration this evening. Right. Naruto waved dismissively. After rice crackers, though, priorities, sensei. He started walking toward Ichiraku Ramen, his favorite food establishment, when his observation haki suddenly flared. Danger. Multiple chakra signatures. Moving fast. Heading toward the village. Naruto's expression went from goofy to deadly serious in an instant. He turned toward the forest beyond Konoha's walls, his entire body tensing. Sensei, we've got incoming! At least 20 chakra signatures, all jonin level or higher, converging on the north gate. Guy's demeanor shifted immediately. Sound the alarm! Get everyone to defensive positions. He looked at Naruto. Can you identify them? Naruto closed his eyes, extending his observation haki to its maximum range. The signatures were familiar. Corrupted, twisted, wrong in ways that made his skin crawl. Snake-themed chakra, lots of it, and something else, something that feels like. His eyes snapped open. Orochimaru, he's with them. The alarm bells began ringing across Konoha, their urgent clanging sending ninjas scrambling to defensive positions. Civilians rushed toward shelters as jonin gathered at strategic points throughout the village. This wasn't a drill. This was an invasion. Naruto cracked his knuckles, coating both fists in armament haki. Finally! I've been wanting to punch that snake bastard ever since I heard what he did to those kids in his experiments. His grin was absolutely feral. Sensei, I'm going out there. Naruto, wait for Soru. He vanished, moving faster than most eyes could track, leaving a small crater where he'd been standing. Guy sighed deeply but couldn't help smiling. That was Naruto, always charging straight at danger without hesitation. Youthful as always, Guy muttered before calling out to the assembled ninja. Defensive formation! Protect the civilians! Leave the main force to Naruto, he'll handle it! Several jonin exchanged skeptical glances until one of them said, he punched through a mountain last month during training. Right, another agreed. The kids got this. Naruto cleared the village walls in a single Geppo-enhanced jump, landing in the forest beyond with enough force to create a small crater. His observation haki pinpointed the incoming force, 23 enemy ninja, all wearing Sound Village headbands, led by a man whose chakra signature made Naruto's instincts scream warnings. Orochimaru, the Snake Sannin, one of Konoha's legendary 3 ninja, now a missing nin obsessed with forbidden jutsu and immortality. There, Naruto spotted them moving through the trees, a coordinated strike force clearly planning to breach Konoha's defenses. He grinned, his blue eyes gleaming with excitement. Oi, snake face! Yeah, you with the creepy tongue! Stop right there, or I'm gonna punch you so hard your next body won't remember what hit you. The sound ninja stopped immediately, surprised by the sudden appearance of a single boy blocking their path. Orochimaru's golden eyes fixed on Naruto with interest that made the boy's skin crawl. Well, Orochimaru said, his voice smooth and unsettling. Naruto Uzumaki, the monster of Konoha, I've heard such interesting things about you. His tongue flicked out, tasting the air. Such power for one so young. Tell me, boy, how would you like to learn the secrets of true immortality? I could teach you techniques beyond your wildest. Yeah, no thanks, Naruto interrupted, picking his nose casually. I'm not interested in creepy snake stuff. I'm more of a punch things until they stop being problems kind of guy. He flicked the booger away and cracked his knuckles. So here's how this is gonna go. You and your buddies turn around and leave, or I'm gonna introduce your face to my fist, multiple times, at high velocity. Sound good? Orochimaru's eyes narrowed. Such confidence, almost admirable, but you're just one child, and we are. Soru, Naruto moved. One moment he was 20 meters away, the next he was right in front of Orochimaru, his hockey-coated fist already in motion. Bone fist! The punch connected with Orochimaru's face, and the snake Sanin went flying backward through at least 15 trees before smashing into a boulder hard enough to shatter it. The sound ninja stared in shock as their legendary leader crashed through the forest like a rag doll. Naruto dusted off his hands. Huh? He's tougher than I thought. Usually people explode when I punch them that hard. He turned to the remaining sound ninja with a cheerful grin. Anyone else want to try attacking Konoha? No? Excellent! Geppo! He kicked off the air itself, jumping above the stunned sound ninja, and his expression turned cold. You guys made a big mistake coming here. See, I don't like it when people threaten my home. Makes me want to punch them. A lot. Conqueror's haki! The pressure exploded outward like an invisible tsunami. 15 of the sound ninja immediately collapsed, their eyes rolling back as the sheer force of Naruto's presence overwhelmed their consciousness. The remaining 8 staggered, suddenly finding it hard to breathe, hard to think, hard to do anything, but feel the overwhelming weight of the boy's will pressing down on them. What is this? One of them gasped. This is the difference between you and me, Naruto said, landing in front of them with casual grace. You're just regular ninja. I'm the guy who punches mountains for fun. There's no contest here. Now. He pulled back both fists, coating them in haki so dense it looked almost black. Let's make this quick. I've got rice crackers waiting. The next 3 minutes were pure, brutal efficiency. Naruto moved through the remaining sound ninja like a hurricane through paper dolls. Each punch sent an enemy flying hundreds of meters. Each kick created air blades sharp enough to cut through armor. When one tried to counterattack with a kunai, Naruto caught the blade between 2 fingers and flicked it back hard enough to embed it in a tree trunk. Tekai! He hardened his body, and a sound ninja's sword shattered against his skin like glass. Shigan! His finger strike pierced straight through another enemy's shoulder, careful not to kill but absolutely devastating. Rankyaku! His kick created a blade of compressed air that cut through 3 enemies' weapons simultaneously. Within minutes, all 23 sound ninja lay unconscious or groaning in pain, scattered across the forest floor like discarded toys. Naruto stood in the center of the carnage, not even breathing hard. Well, that was disappointing. I was hoping for more of a challenge. He looked around. Where'd Snakeface go? I know I didn't hit him hard enough to kill him. I was holding back at least 70%. Kukuku. The laugh came from everywhere and nowhere at once. Naruto's observation haki flared, sensing danger from the ground erupted. A massive white snake, easily 50 meters long, burst from beneath the earth, its jaws open wide enough to swallow Naruto whole. Inside its mouth stood Orochimaru, completely unharmed, his expression amused. Hidden shadow snake hands. Dozens of snakes launched from Orochimaru's sleeves, each one moving at incredible speed, converging on Naruto from multiple angles. Naruto grinned. Now we're talking. Kamiye? His body moved like paper in the wind, flowing around the attacking snakes with impossible grace. Each strike missed by millimeters as Naruto's body bent and twisted in ways that shouldn't be physically possible. When he couldn't dodge, he used Tekai to harden specific body parts, letting the snake's fangs shatter against his iron-hard skin. Soru! He blurred forward, running along the giant snake's body toward Orochimaru. You're pretty tough, Snakeface. Most people stay down when I punch them, but you know what that means? His grin turned absolutely feral. I get to punch you again? Wah! Impressive, Orochimaru admitted, making hand seals with practiced speed. But can you handle this? Summoning Jutsu, Triple Rashomon. 3 massive demon-faced gates erupted from the ground between Naruto and Orochimaru, each one designed to stop even tailed beast attacks. They were legendary defenses, capable of blocking almost any assault. Naruto didn't slow down. These fists have crushed countless enemies, he shouted, pulling back his right arm. Armament haki coated his fist so thickly it looked like solid metal, radiating visible waves of power. Some stupid gates aren't gonna stop me. Blue hole. His punch connected with the first Rashomon gate. For a split second, nothing happened. Then the gate exploded into millions of fragments, completely obliterated by the sheer force of the impact. The shockwave continued through the second gate, shattering it instantly, and slammed into the third gate hard enough to crack it from top to bottom before it too collapsed into rubble. Naruto burst through the debris cloud, his fist already pulled back for another strike. Orochimaru's eyes widened fractionally, the first sign of genuine surprise. Impossible. Those gates are designed to withstand. Bone Fist! The punch caught Orochimaru in the stomach, and this time Naruto didn't hold back as much. The snake Sanin's eyes bulged, blood spraying from his mouth as he was launched backward with enough force to create a sonic boom. He crashed through the forest, each impact creating craters, until finally slamming into a cliff face 300 meters away with enough force to crack the stone. Naruto landed on the giant snake's head, which immediately tried to bite him. Tekai! His body hardened, and the snake's fangs shattered against his iron-hard skin. Annoying! He coated his fist in haki and punched straight down through the snake's skull. Stay down! The summon vanished in a cloud of smoke, and Naruto dropped to the ground, immediately using Soru to close the distance to Orochimaru's crash site. The Sannin was pulling himself from the rubble, his body moving in ways that seemed wrong, joints bending at odd angles, skin rippling like it wasn't quite real. Kukuku, such power, such raw, overwhelming force. You would make an excellent vessel, Naruto Uzumaki, if I could take that body. Yeah, no, Naruto interrupted, appearing right in front of Orochimaru with Soru. I like my body. It's good at punching things. Your creepy snake body would be terrible at punching. He grabbed Orochimaru by the collar and lifted him effortlessly. Also, you're disgusting. Like, really disgusting. Has anyone ever told you that? Because they should. Orochimaru's form suddenly melted, becoming liquid mud that slipped through Naruto's fingers. Earth-style, mud clone. The real Orochimaru emerged from the ground 20 meters away, his expression calculating. You're strong, boy. Stronger than I anticipated. But strength alone isn't enough against Fistbone Meteor. Naruto grabbed a handful of small rocks and threw them with armament haki coating each one. They moved like bullets, faster than most eyes could track, and Orochimaru barely managed to dodge by sinking into the ground again. The rocks punched through trees, creating holes clean through the trunks. Stop running! Naruto shouted, using observation haki to track Orochimaru's movement underground. You came here to attack Konoha! Stand still and let me punch you! The ground erupted again, but this time it wasn't Orochimaru. It was dozens of giant snakes, all launching themselves at Naruto from different angles. Their combined mass should have overwhelmed him, buried him under tons of writhing serpent flesh. Naruto just grinned wider. Rankyaku! He spun in a circle, his legs creating compressed air blades that radiated outward in all directions. The snakes were cut into pieces, vanishing in clouds of smoke before they could reach him. And in the moment of distraction caused by the dissipating summons, Orochimaru struck. Kusanagi! A sword burst from Orochimaru's mouth, a legendary blade that could extend and retract at impossible speeds. It shot toward Naruto's chest with enough force to pierce through steel. Naruto caught it between two fingers. Nice sword, he said casually, the blade trembling as it tried to push forward but couldn't overcome his grip. Needs more power though. He yanked hard, pulling Orochimaru forward by the sword still connected to the Sannin's mouth and delivered a devastating punch to the man's face. Bone fist! Blood and teeth flew as Orochimaru was sent spinning through the air. He crashed to the ground, rolled, and barely managed to pull himself to his feet. His face was a mess, jaw clearly broken, one eye swollen shut, blood pouring from his mouth. But he was smiling. Kukuku, such power! Orochimaru's form began to shift, skin peeling away to reveal another body underneath, his true form shedding like a snake's skin. The new body was undamaged, pristine, and his golden eyes gleamed with dark amusement. But you see, Naruto Uzumaki, I cannot die. I have conquered death itself. No matter how many times you strike me down, I will simply take a new body and... Naruto's fist, coated in Conqueror's Haki and Armament Haki combined, slammed into Orochimaru's face before he could finish speaking. I don't care about your immortality bullshit, Naruto said coldly, his earlier humor completely gone. His blue eyes were ice, his expression absolutely serious. You hurt people. You experiment on kids. You threaten my village. That means I'm going to keep punching you until you stop moving. And if you come back, I'll punch you again and again and again, forever if I have to. He pulled back both fists and the dark coating intensified until it looked like his arms were made of solid darkness. The air around him shimmered with power, not chakra, but something else, something primal and terrifying that made even Orochimaru's cold heart skip a beat. These fists have crushed countless enemies, Naruto shouted, his voice echoing across the forest. They've shattered mountains. They've never known defeat. And they're about to teach you why people call me the monster of Konoha. He launched forward with Soru, moving faster than he'd ever moved before, and his fists became a blur as he unleashed a devastating combination attack. Bone fist! Bone fist! Bone fist! Shigan! Rankyaku! Blue hole! Bone fist! Each strike landed with the force of a cannon. Orochimaru tried to dodge, tried to substitute, tried to defend, but Naruto's observation haki predicted every movement, every technique, every desperate attempt to escape. The punches connected with bone-shattering force, each one driving Orochimaru deeper into the ground, creating a crater that grew wider and deeper with every impact. The surrounding forest shook. Trees toppled from the shockwaves. Birds fled screaming into the sky. And at the bottom of the growing crater, Orochimaru's immortal body was being systematically demolished by a 13-year-old boy who refused to accept the concept of unbeatable enemies. Finally, after what felt like an eternity of brutal assault, Naruto stopped. He stood in the center of a crater 50 meters wide and 20 meters deep, breathing hard but grinning. At his feet, Orochimaru lay broken and bloody, barely conscious. Still alive? Naruto asked cheerfully. Man, you really are tough. Most people would be paced by now. He grabbed Orochimaru by the collar again. But you know what? I'm not done. See, you made me use less than half my full power, and that's disappointing. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to drag you back to Konoha, throw you in a cell, and every day I'm going to come visit you and punch you. Just once, but hard. Real hard. And you're going to stay in that cell forever because you're too dangerous to let loose. His grin turned absolutely feral. How's that sound? Orochimaru's mouth opened, blood bubbling from his lips as he tried to speak. You cannot contain me. Watch me, Naruto said flatly. Then he yawned, his jaw cracking. Man, I'm tired. Fighting makes me sleepy. He started walking back toward Konoha, dragging Orochimaru behind him like a sack of potatoes. Oi, unconscious sound ninja. If any of you wake up and try to escape, I'm coming back and punching you harder. Got it? Several of the sound ninja who were conscious enough to hear this whimpered in terror. Naruto hummed a cheerful tune as he walked, occasionally adjusting his grip on Orochimaru when the Sannin tried to use some technique to escape. Each attempt was met with a casual punch that knocked him unconscious again. By the time Naruto reached Konoha's gates, a crowd had gathered. Ninja and civilians alike stared in shock at the sight of Naruto Uzumaki dragging the legendary snake Sannin like unwanted luggage. Yo! Naruto called out cheerfully, waving with his free hand. I caught a snake! Where do we keep the dangerous criminals? I want to make sure this one doesn't slither away. Hiruzen Sarutobi stood at the gate, his expression somewhere between pride, concern, and absolute exhaustion. Naruto, you defeated Orochimaru? Yep, punched him a bunch. He kept trying to talk about immortality and taking my body, super creepy by the way, but I just kept punching until he stopped moving. Naruto held up Orochimaru's limp form. He's still alive though, figured you'd want to interrogate him or something. Plus, I promised to punch him every day forever, so we need him alive for that. You promised to punch him every day forever, Hiruzen repeated slowly. Yep, it'll be fun, like a hobby. Naruto's stomach growled loudly. Anyway, can we lock him up? I'm starving. Fighting legendary criminals works up an appetite. Bah! The Anbu moved quickly, taking Orochimaru from Naruto and securing him with every seal and binding jutsu they knew. The Sannin was barely conscious, his body broken in dozens of places, but his golden eyes still gleamed with dark intelligence. As they carried him away, Orochimaru managed to rasp out, "This isn't over, boy." "Yeah, it is," Naruto called back cheerfully. "You lost. I won. That's how it works. Now go to jail and think about your life choices." He turned to Hiruzen. "So, old man, does beating up a legendary criminal count for a promotion? Because I feel like I should at least be a chunin by now. I mean, I punched through his Rashomon gates, all 3 of them. That's gotta count for something." Hiruzen stared at Naruto for a long moment, then started laughing, deep, genuine laughter that made his shoulders shake. "Naruto, you truly are something special. Yes, I think we can discuss a promotion. Though I'm not sure what rank properly reflects defeated one of the legendary Sannin single-handedly while still technically a genin." "Awesome!" Naruto pumped his fist. "Can I celebrate with rice crackers and ramen and maybe some barbecue? Fighting makes me really, really hungry." "Go," Hiruzen said, still smiling. "Eat, celebrate, you've earned it." Naruto was already running toward Ichiraku Ramen, shouting about his victory over his shoulder. The gathered crowd erupted in cheers, chanting his name, celebrating the boy who had single-handedly stopped an invasion before it could even begin. But even as Konoha celebrated, in the deep shadows of his prison cell, Orochimaru smiled through broken teeth. This defeat was temporary. He would escape, eventually. He would return, stronger, and next time. A fist punched through the cell wall, armament hockey-coated knuckles stopping just inches from Orochimaru's face. "By the way," Naruto's voice came through the hole, "I can sense your chakra signature from anywhere in the village now. So if you try any escape techniques, I'll know immediately and come punch you. Just wanted to make that clear. Enjoy your cell. Blah!" The fist withdrew, leaving Orochimaru staring at the hole in his supposedly impenetrable cell. Perhaps, the Snake Sannin thought, he had underestimated this boy. 3 days passed. 3 days of Konoha celebrating their newest hero. 3 days of Naruto eating enough food to feed a small army. 3 days of interrogators learning nothing from Orochimaru because he refused to speak, though he flinched every time he heard footsteps that might be Naruto coming for his daily visit. But on the 4th day, something changed. Naruto was in the training ground, demonstrating techniques to Sasuke as usual, when his observation haki suddenly flared with unprecedented intensity. Not danger, not yet, but presence. Massive, overwhelming presence approaching from the east. 2 of them. Chakra signatures so powerful they made even Orochimaru seem like a candle next to the sun. "Sensei," Naruto said quietly, interrupting his own demonstration. "We've got incoming. 2 of them, both stronger than Orochimaru. Maybe stronger than anyone I've ever sensed before." Guy tensed immediately. "Can you identify them?" Naruto closed his eyes, extending his haki further. The signatures were distinctive. One felt like endless water, deep and crushing. The other felt like fire? No, not fire. Something worse. Something that made his instincts scream danger. "I don't recognize them specifically," Naruto said slowly. "But they're not hiding their presence. They're coming straight here, making no effort at stealth. It's like..." He opened his eyes. "It's like they want us to know they're coming." The alarm bells began ringing again. Hiruzen's voice echoed through the village via announcement jutsu. "All ninja to defensive positions. Unknown hostiles approaching from the east. Civilians to shelters immediately." Naruto cracked his knuckles, grinning despite the danger. Finally, something that might actually be challenging. "Come on, Sasuke. Let's go see who's stupid enough to attack Konoha right after I beat up Orochimaru." They rushed to the east wall, where ninja were already gathering. The gates opened to reveal 2 figures walking casually down the main road as if out for a pleasant stroll. Both wore black cloaks with red clouds. Akatsuki. Naruto had heard of them, a criminal organization composed of S-rank missing nin, each one powerful enough to destroy entire villages single-handedly. They were legends, nightmares, the kind of enemies that made experienced jonin pale with fear. The first figure was tall, with blue skin and a sword wrapped in bandages strapped to his back. Kasame Hoshigaki, the monster of the hidden mist, former member of the 7 ninja swordsmen. The second figure was slightly shorter, with long dark hair and eyes that made Sasuke gasp in recognition and rage. Itachi Uchiha. Itachi! Sasuke screamed, his voice raw with emotion. He tried to charge forward, but Kakashi appeared from nowhere and grabbed him. "Wait!" Kakashi ordered. "You're not ready to face him." "Let me go." Sasuke struggled against Kakashi's grip. "I have to! He killed! I'll kill him!" Naruto stepped forward, not placing himself between Sasuke and the 2 Akatsuki members. His expression was unreadable, but his fists were already coated in armament haki. "So you're Itachi Uchiha," Naruto said casually, though his blue eyes were ice cold. "The guy who murdered his entire family and left his little brother broken. Sasuke's told me all about you." He cracked his neck. "Gotta say, I've been wanting to meet you. See, I promised Sasuke I'd help him get strong enough to face you someday. But you know what? Why wait?" His grin was absolutely feral. "How about I just punch you right now and save us all some time?" Itachi's expression didn't change, calm, almost serene, his Sharingan spinning slowly. "Naruto Uzumaki, the monster of Konoha, we've heard interesting things about you." "Oh yeah?" Naruto's grin widened. "Like what?" "Like how you defeated Zabuza Momochi with ease," Kasame said, his shark-like grin matching Naruto's feral expression. "Like how you punched through mountains during training. Like how you defeated Orochimaru in single combat." He reached for his sword. "Sounds like you might actually be fun to fight." "We're not here to fight," Itachi said calmly. "We're here for information. Orochimaru was supposed to meet with us, but he seems to have been detained." His eyes flickered to the prison facility. "We need to know what he told you." "He didn't tell us anything," Hiruzen said, stepping forward to stand beside Naruto. "And even if he had, what makes you think we'd share that information with criminal missing nin?" "Because if you don't," Kasame said, unwrapping his sword to reveal Samahata, a living blade covered in scales that could absorb chakra, "we'll tear this village apart looking for him." Naruto's laughter echoed across the village. "Oh man, that's hilarious! You're gonna tear apart the village? This village? The one I protect?" His expression shifted from amused to deadly serious in an instant. "Let me explain something to you, fish face. See these fists?" He held up his haki-coated hands. "These fists have crushed countless enemies. They've shattered mountains. They've beaten legendary ninja, and they're about to introduce your face to the ground at high velocity if you keep threatening my home." "Confident," Itachi observed, "but confidence without power is just arrogance. Good thing I've got both." Naruto's grin returned. "Tell you what, you want Orochimaru? Fine, I'll take you to him. But first you gotta get through me. All out, no holding back. Show me what makes you so scary." He glanced at Sasuke, who was still struggling against Kakashi's grip. "And maybe along the way, I'll beat some answers out of you about why you murdered your family. Sasuke deserves that much." Itachi's eyes narrowed fractionally, the first sign of emotion. "You don't understand the situation." "Then explain it," Naruto shouted. "Stop being all mysterious and cryptic and just explain why you killed everyone. Because from where I'm standing, you look like a coward who murdered defenseless people in their sleep." For a moment, something flickered across Itachi's face. Pain, maybe, or regret. But it vanished as quickly as it appeared. "You're not ready to hear that truth." "Bullshit!" Naruto stepped forward, his conqueror's haki beginning to leak out, creating pressure that made weaker ninja stumble. "I'm the strongest genin Konoha's ever produced. I beat Orochimaru. I protect this entire village. I think I can handle whatever truth you're hiding." Kisame whistled appreciatively. "Ooh, I like this kid. He's got spirit. Can I fight him, Itachi? Please? I haven't had a good fight in months." "No," Itachi said firmly. "We're not here to." "Soru!" Naruto moved, crossing the distance between them in a blink. His fist, coated in armament haki, slammed toward Itachi's face with enough force to create a sonic boom. Itachi's hand came up, catching the punch in his palm. The impact created a shockwave that shattered windows in nearby buildings, but Itachi stood firm, his expression unchanged. Fast, Itachi acknowledged, but predictable. Shigan! Naruto's other hand shot forward, his finger aimed at Itachi's chest. Itachi twisted, deflecting the strike with minimal movement, and kicked Naruto in the stomach hard enough to send him skidding backward. Naruto grinned, wiping blood from his lip. Okay, you're actually pretty strong. This is gonna be fun. Tekai! He hardened his body and charged forward again. Bone fist! This time the punch connected fully, but Itachi had already activated some technique. His body dissolved into crows that scattered in all directions before reforming behind Naruto. Genjutsu? Naruto laughed. Seriously? I don't need eyes to fight. Observation haki! He spun, his leg creating an air blade that forced Itachi to dodge. Rank Yaku! Kasame decided he'd seen enough. Samahada's hungry. He swung his massive sword at Naruto from the side, the blade's scales eager to feast on chakra. Naruto blocked with his haki-coated forearm. Wrong move, fish face. I don't use chakra for my techniques. His grin was absolutely savage. Geppo? He kicked off the air, jumping above both Akatsuki members, and pulled back both fists. Let me show you what real power looks like. Blue hole! Both fists came down like meteorites. Itachi and Kasame jumped away in opposite directions as Naruto's attack obliterated the ground where they'd been standing, creating a crater 10 meters wide. Damn! Kasame laughed, his shark-like grin widening. He really doesn't use chakra. Samahada can't eat whatever that black stuff is. He charged forward, sword swinging in wide arcs. This is gonna be interesting. Naruto met the charge head-on, dodging Samahada's swings with Kamiye and countering with devastating punches. Each blow that connected sent Kasame sliding backward, though the fishnin seemed to be enjoying himself immensely. You hit hard, kid! Kasame shouted. But can you handle this? Water style, water shark bomb. A massive shark made of water launched toward Naruto. He didn't dodge. Instead, he pulled back his fist and punched straight through it. Bone fist! The water shark exploded into harmless spray, and Naruto's fist continued toward Kasame's face. The Akatsuki member barely managed to block with Samehada, but the force of the impact still sent him flying backward. Meanwhile, Itachi had been watching, analyzing, his Sharingan spinning as he memorized every movement, every technique. Interesting, he said quietly. Your fighting style doesn't rely on ninjutsu or genjutsu, pure taijutsu enhanced by something else, something I've never seen before. It's called being awesome, Naruto shouted, using Soru to appear behind Itachi. Shigan! His finger strike aimed for a pressure point, but Itachi deflected it with a kunai and kicked Naruto away. You're strong, Itachi acknowledged. Stronger than most jonin, but you lack experience. You fight with pure power and no strategy. Who needs strategy when you can just punch harder? Naruto charged again, his fists a blur. Bone fist, bone fist, bone fist. Itachi dodged the first two punches, but the third caught him in the shoulder, sending him spinning. He recovered quickly, making hand seals with practiced speed. Fire style, fireball jutsu. A massive ball of flame erupted toward Naruto. The boy just grinned and coated both arms in armament haki. These fists have crushed countless enemies. Some fire isn't gonna stop them. He punched straight through the fireball, dispersing it with brute force, and continued his charge. But Itachi had already moved, using the fire as cover to position himself behind Naruto. Tsukuyomi. Their eyes met, Naruto's blue and Itachi's crimson Sharingan, and the world dissolved into black and white. Suddenly, Naruto was strapped to a cross in an endless void, and multiple copies of Itachi surrounded him, all holding swords. In this world, I control time and space, Itachi said calmly. For the next 72 hours, you will experience nothing but. Naruto's conqueror's haki exploded outward like a physical force. Nope! The genjutsu shattered. The black and white world cracked, fragmented, and dissolved like breaking glass. Naruto's will was so overwhelming, so absolutely certain of reality, that even Itachi's legendary Tsukuyomi couldn't contain it. Both of them snapped back to reality, and Itachi actually stumbled backward, his eyes wide with shock. Impossible! No one has ever. First time for everything. Naruto grinned, though his head was pounding. That was a neat trick, though. Made me feel all floaty and weird. But see, my will is stronger than your illusions. Bah! Kasame rejoined the fight, his sword swinging in devastating arcs. Okay, kid, You're officially interesting. Let's see how you handle both of us at once. What followed was the most intense combat Konoha had witnessed in years. Naruto fought two S-rank criminals simultaneously, his haki-coated fists meeting Kasame's Samahata in showers of sparks, while dodging Itachi's jutsu and genjutsu attempts with pure will and observation haki prediction. Soru, Tekai, Bone Fist. Water Style, Water Dragon Jutsu. Fire Style, Phoenix Flower Jutsu. The training ground was demolished. Buildings nearby cracked from the shockwaves. Ninja watching from a safe distance could barely follow the combat. It was too fast, too intense, too far beyond normal ninja capabilities. Naruto was holding his own against two of the world's most dangerous criminals, and he was grinning the entire time. "This is great," he shouted, deflecting Samahata with an armament haki-coated forearm while simultaneously dodging Itachi's shuriken with observation haki. "You guys are actually making me try! I love it! Jeppo!" He jumped into the air, pulling back both fists. "Let's see how you handle this. Fist Bone Meteor!" He grabbed chunks of debris and threw them with haki coating. The projectiles moved like missiles, forcing Itachi and Kasame to dodge and defend simultaneously. And while they were distracted, Soru! Naruto appeared behind Itachi, his fist already in motion for a devastating strike. But Itachi spun, Sharingan predicting the movement, and suddenly there was a sword in his hand, seemingly from nowhere. The blade met Naruto's haki-coated fist with a sound like thunder. For a moment, they were frozen. Naruto's fist against Itachi's sword, power against skill, overwhelming force against perfect technique. Then Kasame crashed into Naruto from the side, Samahata's scales scraping against his Tekai-hardened body. The three of them separated, each slightly damaged, but still standing strong. "You're good, kid," Kasame admitted, breathing hard. "Real good, but this isn't getting us anywhere. We could fight all day and probably just destroy the village without accomplishing anything. Then leave," Naruto said flatly. "Go back to whatever hole you crawled out of and don't come back. Orochimaru's not talking, and even if he was, I wouldn't let you near him." Itachi's eyes met his brother's across the battlefield. Sasuke had stopped struggling against Kakashi's grip, instead staring at his older brother with an expression of pure, concentrated hatred mixed with desperate confusion. "Why?" Sasuke's voice was raw. "Why did you do it? Why kill everyone? Why?" Itachi's expression was unreadable. "To test my abilities, to measure myself against the clan. They were stepping stones to power, nothing more." "Liar!" Naruto shouted, his observation haki reading the minute tells in Itachi's body language. "Your heartbeat spiked when you said that. Your chakra fluctuated. Whatever reason you killed your clan, it wasn't because you're some power-hungry monster." He stepped forward, his fist still coated in haki. "So stop lying and tell your brother the truth." For just a moment, a fraction of a second, Itachi's mask slipped. His eyes showed pain, genuine deep pain that made even Kasame glance at him in surprise. But then it was gone, replaced by cold indifference. "The truth is irrelevant. The past cannot be changed. Sasuke," he looked at his younger brother. "If you want revenge, then get stronger, hate me, despise me, and survive. When you have eyes like mine, come find me." "That's not an answer," Naruto shouted. "That's just more cryptic bullshit. Stop being a coward and we're leaving," Itachi interrupted, turning away. "This fight serves no purpose. We came for information, and clearly we won't get it here." "Running away?" Naruto taunted. "What happened to scary Akatsuki? I thought you guys were supposed to be dangerous." Kasame laughed. "Oh, we are dangerous, kid. But Itachi's right. We're not here to destroy Konoha. That's someone else's job. We just wanted information." He glanced at Itachi. "Though I gotta say, partner, you seemed awful interested in that Uchiha kid." "We're leaving," Itachi repeated, more firmly this time. "Like hell you are." Naruto pulled back both fists, coating them in the darkest, most intense armament haki he'd ever generated. "You don't get to show up, threaten my village, mess with my friends' emotions, and then just leave. You're gonna answer Sasuke's questions, or I'm gonna beat the answers out of you." He launched forward with Soru, moving faster than he'd ever moved before, his conqueror's haki blazing outward and making weaker ninja collapse. Both fists aimed at Itachi, each one carrying enough power to level a building. "Galaxy Impact!" Itachi's eyes widened, genuine alarm flashing across his face. He made hand seals faster than most eyes could track. "Susanoo!" Crimson chakra erupted around Itachi, forming a skeletal ribcage that solidified into a massive humanoid construct. This was the legendary defense of the Mangekyo Sharingan, absolute defense supposedly capable of blocking any attack. Naruto's fists met Susanu's ribcage. For a moment, reality seemed to pause. Then the Susanoo cracked. Not shattered, not destroyed, but cracked. Visible fractures spreading across the crimson chakra construct from the impact point. Itachi actually grunted in pain as feedback from his technique hit him, and he was forced backward by the sheer force of Naruto's attack. Kasame whistled. Well, shit. Kid actually damaged Susanoo. That's not supposed to be possible. Naruto pulled back for another strike, but Itachi raised his hand. Enough! Enough! Naruto shouted. You think you can just... I'll answer one question, Itachi interrupted, his voice quiet but carrying across the battlefield. One question from my brother, then we leave, and you won't pursue us. Naruto paused, glancing at Sasuke. The younger Uchiha was trembling, tears streaming down his face, caught between rage and desperate hope. One question, Itachi repeated. Choose carefully, foolish little brother. Sasuke's voice was barely a whisper. Did you have a reason? For killing everyone? Was there something, anything, that made it necessary? Itachi was silent for a long moment. His expression was unreadable, but his eyes, those cursed Sharingan eyes, held depths of pain that made even Naruto pause. Yes, Itachi finally said. There was a reason that required the death of the entire Uchiha clan except you. But that reason, he turned away. That reason will die with me. Because if you knew the truth, you would never be able to bear the weight of it. That's not an answer, Sasuke screamed. It's the only answer you'll get, Itachi said quietly. Hate me, Sasuke. That hatred will make you strong. And when you're strong enough, his voice dropped to barely a whisper. Perhaps then you can make your own choices about truth and lies. He began to fade, his body dissolving into crows. Kasame sighed and followed suit, both Akatsuki members using some technique to escape, despite Naruto's attempt to grab them. Come back here! Naruto shouted, his fist passing through the crows harmlessly. I'm not done punching you. But they were gone, leaving only scattered feathers and a devastated training ground behind. Naruto stood there, breathing hard, his fist still coated in haki, staring at the empty space where Itachi had been. Damn it, he muttered. Damn it, damn it, damn it! Behind him, Sasuke collapsed to his knees, sobbing. Kakashi released his grip, and immediately Naruto was there, placing a hand on his friend's shoulder. I'm sorry, Naruto said quietly. I should have hit him harder, should have kept him here so you could get real answers. You damaged his Susanoo, Sasuke said between sobs. That's supposed to be impossible. You actually hurt him. Yeah, but I didn't beat him, Naruto said, frustrated. And he got away without giving you the answers you needed. He clenched his fists. But you know what? This just means we gotta get stronger. Both of us. Strong enough that next time we meet Itachi, he won't be able to escape. Strong enough to beat the truth out of him if we have to. Sasuke looked up at Naruto, his eyes red from crying and activating his Sharingan from the emotional stress. Thank you, he whispered, for fighting him, for trying. That's what friends do, Naruto said simply. He pulled Sasuke to his feet. Come on, let's go get some ramen. I'm starving, and you look like you could use some comfort food. His grin returned. Plus, I just fought 2 S-rank criminals to a standstill. That's got to be worth at least 20 bowls of ramen. Bah! Despite everything, Sasuke laughed. A weak, watery laugh, but genuine. You're insane, Naruto. And you're stuck with me. Naruto slung an arm around Sasuke's shoulders. Now come on, I'm treating. Well, actually, I'm making the old man pay since this technically counts as village defense. But same difference. As they walked away from the devastated training ground, Hiruzen watched them go with a mixture of pride and concern. Naruto had fought Itachi Uchiha and Kasame Hoshigaki simultaneously, and held his own, more than held his own. He'd actually damaged Itachi's legendary defense. But that also meant Naruto was now on Akatsuki's radar. Hokage-sama, an Anbu said quietly, should we pursue them? No, Hiruzen said after a moment. Let them go. We've learned valuable information. They're interested in Orochimaru, which means whatever their ultimate goal is, it involves the Snake Sanin somehow. He looked at the crater where Naruto's galaxy impact had connected with Susanoo. And we've learned that Naruto Uzumaki can fight the world's most dangerous criminals and survive. That knowledge alone is invaluable. He's going to be targeted, another Anbu observed. He's been targeted since the day he was born. That, Hiruzen said quietly. All we can do is make sure he's strong enough to handle it. And given what I just witnessed, he smiled slightly. I think he'll be fine. 1 week later, Naruto sat in the prison visiting room, staring at Orochimaru through reinforced glass. The snake Sanin looked considerably worse than when Naruto had first captured him, bruised, bandaged, with several bones still healing from their initial fight. Your friends came looking for you, Naruto said casually, munching on rice crackers. Itachi and Kasame. We fought. It was fun. He grinned. They left without you, though. Guess they didn't think you were worth rescuing. Orochimaru's golden eyes narrowed. Kukuku, you fought both of them and survived? Did better than survive. I cracked Itachi's Susanoo. Nobody's supposed to be able to do that. Naruto leaned forward, his expression turning serious. Which brings me to why I'm here. See, I've been thinking about our fight and about Akatsuki and about all these powerful enemies running around. And I realized something. I need to get stronger. You're already strong enough to defeat me, Orochimaru pointed out. Yeah, but I want to be stronger than that. I want to be strong enough to protect everyone. Strong enough that enemies like Akatsuki think twice before threatening Konoha. Strong enough to punch problems into next week without breaking a sweat. Naruto's grin turned feral. So here's the deal, Snakeface. You're going to tell me about all the powerful enemies out there, every organization, every legendary ninja, every threat I should know about. And in exchange, he cracked his knuckles, I'll only punch you every other day instead of every day. Sound good? And if I refuse, then I punch you twice as hard every day, Naruto said cheerfully. Plus, I'll tell the guards to only give you rice crackers to eat, and not the good kind, the cheap, stale kind that tastes like cardboard. Despite his situation, Orochimaru laughed. You really are something else, Naruto Uzumaki. Very well, I'll tell you about the threats, but not because of your threats. His eyes gleamed with dark amusement. But because I want to see what you become. A boy who can punch through Susanoo, who defeated me in single combat, who broke my Tsukuyomi through sheer will. Yes, I want to see how far your power grows. Great! Naruto pulled out a notebook and pen. Let's start with Akatsuki. What's their deal? Why do they want you? And so Orochimaru began to talk. He told Naruto about Akatsuki's secret goal, to capture all nine-tailed beasts and use them for some unknown purpose. He told him about the organization's members, each one an S-rank criminal with unique and devastating abilities. He told him about other threats, dangerous missing nin, enemy villages plotting against Konoha, forbidden jutsu that could destroy nations. Naruto listened, taking notes, his expression growing more serious with each revelation. So basically, Naruto summarized when Orochimaru finished, there's a bunch of super powerful criminals who want to capture tailed beasts, which means they're eventually going to come after me since I'm apparently important to the nine tails somehow. He grinned. Well, that's fine. Let them come. I'll just punch them all. It's not that simple, Orochimaru started. Sure it is, Naruto interrupted. Bad guys show up. I punch them. They go down. Problem solved. That's how it's always worked. He stood, stretching. Anyway, thanks for the info, Snakeface. This was actually helpful. I'll see you in 2 days for your next punching. Wait, Orochimaru called out. There's one more thing you should know about Itachi Uchiha. Naruto paused, turning back. What about him? He's dying, Orochimaru said quietly. The Manjikyu Sharingan, it destroys the user's eyes over time. Itachi has maybe 2, perhaps 3 years left before he goes blind, and his body gives out from the strain. The Sanin's expression was unreadable. Whatever his reasons for killing the Uchiha clan, whatever secrets he's keeping, he's planning to die soon. And he's planning for your friend Sasuke to be the one who kills him. Naruto's expression went completely still. You're saying Itachi wants Sasuke to kill him? I'm saying Itachi is orchestrating his own death, Orochimaru corrected. Everything he does, everything he says, is designed to make Sasuke hate him enough to become strong enough to strike him down. The question is, why? What could possibly make a man commit genocide, destroy his own family, and then spend his remaining years arranging his own murder? Naruto was silent for a long moment. Then his fists coated in haki, and he punched the reinforced glass hard enough to crack it. That manipulative bastard! He's using Sasuke, turning him into some kind of weapon or tool for whatever messed up plan he's got. Perhaps, Orochimaru agreed. Or perhaps he's trying to give Sasuke something. Power, maybe. Or purpose. Or... The Sannin smiled darkly. Perhaps Itachi knows something we don't. Some truth so terrible that he'd rather be hated and killed than reveal it. I don't care about his reasons, Naruto shouted. Nobody gets to manipulate my friends. Nobody gets to use Sasuke like some kind of chess piece. He turned toward the door. I'm gonna find Itachi again, and this time I'm gonna beat the truth out of him. And if he tries any more cryptic bullshit, I'm gonna punch him until he talks sense. Good luck with that, Orochimaru called after him. Itachi Uchiha is one of the most brilliant tactical minds in the ninja world. You'll need more than brute force to outsmart him. Then I'll hit him with really smart brute force, Naruto shouted back. I'm not letting Sasuke be used, not by Itachi, not by Akatsuki, not by anyone. He stormed out of the prison, his mind racing. Itachi was dying. Itachi wanted Sasuke to kill him. Itachi was hiding some massive secret that required the death of the entire Uchiha clan. What could possibly be that important? Oi, Naruto. Guy appeared beside him, matching his pace easily. I heard you visited Orochimaru. Did you learn anything useful? Too much, Naruto admitted. Way too much. Sensei, I need to get stronger. Not just physically stronger, I need to get smarter too. Because there's some big conspiracy going on with Itachi and the Uchiha massacre, and I can't protect Sasuke from it if I don't understand it. Guy nodded seriously. Then we'll train. Not just your body, but your mind. Strategy, tactics, observation, deduction, all the things a true ninja needs beyond raw power. Can we start tomorrow? Naruto asked. Because right now I need to go punch a mountain. I'm frustrated and confused, and punching usually helps me think. Naruto, Guy sighed. You can't solve every problem by punching it. Watch me, Naruto grinned, though his eyes were still troubled. Besides, the mountain doesn't mind. It just sits there and takes it. Very therapeutic. He paused. Actually, I should probably check. Are we running out of mountains? I've punched a lot of them. Konoha has plenty of mountains, Guy assured him. Though the geology department has asked me to request that you stop punching the ones near the village. Apparently you're causing minor earthquakes. Oops, Naruto said, not sounding sorry at all. Well, I'll just punch the far ones then, the ones nobody cares about. He started walking toward the training grounds. You coming, Sensei? I might need someone to time how long it takes me to destroy a mountain today. I'm trying to beat my personal record. Guy followed, shaking his head but smiling. This was Naruto, facing cosmic conspiracies and legendary criminals, yet still finding joy in the simple act of punching mountains. Some things never changed. 2 months passed, 2 months of intensive training, not just physical, but mental. Guy worked with Naruto on strategy and tactics. Kakashi taught him about shinobi history and famous battles. Even Hiruzen spent time with him, discussing the political landscape of the ninja world and how power dynamics work between villages. Naruto absorbed it all like a sponge, his natural intelligence finally being channeled into something beyond combat. He started understanding why enemies made certain choices, how to predict actions based on motivations, how to read situations beyond just sensing chakra signatures. But he never stopped training his body either. Every morning, he punched mountains. Every afternoon, he sparred with Sasuke and other jonin. Every evening, he practiced his techniques until exhaustion forced him to sleep. The results were remarkable. Naruto didn't just get stronger, he became more complete as a ninja, retaining all his overwhelming power while gaining the wisdom to use it strategically. And then, on a quiet Tuesday afternoon, his observation haki detected something that made him smile. Found you, Naruto muttered, looking toward the eastern border. That distinctive chakra signature, water-like, crushing, belonging to Kasame Hoshigaki. The fish nin was alone, without Itachi, apparently on some mission near Fire Country's borders. Perfect. Naruto told no one. He simply used Soru and Geppo to travel across dozens of miles in minutes, tracking that signature until he found Kasame resting beside a river, his sword Samahata lying beside him. Yo, fish face! Naruto called out cheerfully, landing nearby. Remember me? Kasame looked up, his shark-like grin widening. The monster of Konoha! Well, didn't expect to see you out here. Come to finish our fight? Nah, Naruto said, sitting down across from Kasame like they were old friends. I came to talk. That surprised Kasame. Talk? About what? About Itachi, Naruto said bluntly. About whatever he's planning. About why he really killed his clan. He leaned forward. See, I've been thinking a lot since our last fight, and I realized something. You're his partner. You probably know more about him than anyone. So I figured I'd ask you directly, what's Itachi's real deal? Kasame laughed, deep, genuine laughter that made his shoulders shake. You're something else, kid. You really think I'd betray my partner's secrets? Worth a shot, Naruto grinned. Plus, I brought rice crackers. Want some? He pulled out a bag and offered it to Kasame. The Akatsuki member stared at the offered food, then at Naruto's completely sincere expression, and laughed again. You know what? Sure, why not? It's been a boring day. He took some crackers and munched thoughtfully. But I'm still not telling you about Itachi's secrets. That's his business. Fair enough, Naruto said, eating his own crackers. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment. Then Naruto asked, Can I at least ask why you're in Akatsuki? You don't seem like the destroy the world type. I'm not, Kasame agreed. I'm the this world is full of lies, so might as well embrace the chaos type. He looked at Naruto seriously. You're young, kid. Still idealistic. Still think you can protect everyone and make everything better. But the truth is, this world is cruel. People betray each other. Nations go to war over resources. Ninja kill and die for causes they don't even understand. He gestured broadly. Akatsuki's plan, whatever it really is, at least acknowledges that truth. At least it's honest about the ugliness. That's stupid, Naruto said bluntly. Kasame blinked. Excuse me? I said that's stupid, Naruto grinned. Yeah, the world's cruel. Yeah, bad stuff happens. But that doesn't mean you give up and embrace chaos. That means you get stronger and change things. You protect the people you care about. You make your little corner of the world better. And if everyone does that, eventually the whole world gets better. He stood up, his fists coated in haki. That's what these fists are for. Not just punching enemies, but protecting people, making sure the cruelty doesn't win. Kasame stared at him for a long moment, then laughed again. But this time, it sounded almost wistful. You really believe that, don't you? That your fists can change the world? They've changed it so far, Naruto declared. I stopped Gato from terrorizing Wave Country. I beat Orochimaru and prevented an invasion. I protect Konoha every single day, and someday, his grin turned fierce. Someday I'm going to be so strong that nobody will dare threaten the people I care about. And anyone who tries, I'll punch them into next week. Bwah! You're insane, Kasame said, but he was smiling. Completely, utterly insane. But you know what? He stood, grabbing Samahata. I like you, kid, so I'll tell you one thing, just one about Itachi. Naruto leaned forward eagerly. He's not the enemy you think he is, Kisame said quietly. Whatever he did, whatever crimes he committed, there's more to the story than evil brother murders family. And if you're really Sasuke's friend, he looked at Naruto seriously, then maybe you should be asking why Konoha would order one of their own shinobi to slaughter an entire clan. Naruto's eyes widened. What? Konoha ordered? I didn't say that, Kasame interrupted quickly. I didn't say anything. We never had this conversation. But he started walking away. If you're as smart as I think you're becoming, you'll figure it out. And when you do, he glanced back. Don't let Sasuke make the same mistakes I did. Don't let him become someone who loses faith in everything. Then he vanished, using the water from the river to create a concealment technique and disappear. Naruto stood there, his mind racing. Konoha ordered the Uchiha massacre? That couldn't be right, could it? The old man wouldn't do something like that. Would he? But the more Naruto thought about it, the more the pieces started fitting together. Itachi's strange behavior. His insistence that he killed the clan to test himself. A lie that Naruto's observation haki had detected immediately. The way he told Sasuke there was a reason, but refused to explain it. What if Itachi had been ordered to kill his own family by Konoha's leadership? What if he'd done it to prevent something worse? What if everything, the massacre, the hatred, the villainous act, was actually Itachi trying to protect something? I need answers, Naruto muttered. Real answers, not guesses or theories. Facts. He turned toward Konoha, using Soru to cover the distance in minutes. But instead of going to the Hokage's office, he went to the prison. Orochimaru looked up as Naruto entered, his golden eyes gleaming with interest. "Back so soon? It's not punching day yet." "I need information," Naruto said bluntly, "about the Uchiha massacre, about what really happened. And don't give me bullshit, I know there's more to the story than what everyone says." Orochimaru's smile widened. "Clever boy, you've been thinking, haven't you? Putting pieces together?" He leaned forward. "Very well, I'll tell you what I know. But in exchange," his tongue flicked out, "you have to promise that when you confront the truth, you won't destroy Konoha in rage, because what you're about to learn will make you very, very angry." "I'm not going to destroy Konoha," Naruto said firmly. "It's my home. I protect it. But I need to know the truth, for Sasuke's sake." And so Orochimaru told him about the Uchiha clan's planned coup, about how they were going to overthrow Konoha's government by force, about how Hiruzen and the village elders faced an impossible choice: allow civil war that would destroy the village or eliminate the threat preemptively, about how they chose Itachi Uchiha, the clan's prodigy, to be their weapon, about how Itachi was given an impossible mission: kill his entire family to prevent civil war or watch Konoha destroy itself from within, about how Itachi chose to become a villain, to shoulder the hatred alone, to let his brother live and give him a target for his rage, all to protect the village he loved and the brother he couldn't bear to kill. When Orochimaru finished, Naruto was silent. His fists were clenched so hard they trembled, coated in haki that made the air around them shimmer with barely controlled power. "So," Naruto said quietly, his voice deadly calm, "Itachi killed his entire family, men, women, children, everyone, because Konoha's leadership ordered him to, and he did it to prevent a civil war that would have destroyed the village." "Yes," Orochimaru confirmed. And instead of explaining this to Sasuke, instead of telling him the truth, Itachi made himself into a villain, made Sasuke hate him, turned his own brother into a weapon pointed at himself. Yes, and Konoha's leadership, the people who are supposed to protect their citizens, they let this happen. They let a 13-year-old boy murder his entire family because it was politically convenient. Yes. Naruto's conqueror's haki exploded outward, so powerful it cracked the reinforced glass between them. The entire prison shook, alarms blaring as guards rushed to see what was happening. "Those bastards!" Naruto roared, and the sheer force of his presence knocked out half the guards immediately. "They used Itachi. They used Sasuke. They let an entire clan die because they were too incompetent to handle a political crisis." "Careful," Orochimaru warned. "Remember your promise. Don't destroy Konoha." "I'm not going to destroy Konoha," Naruto said, his voice cold as ice. "I'm going to make it better. I'm going to make sure nothing like this ever happens again. He took a deep breath, forcing his haki back under control. "I'm going to talk to the old man, and I'm going to get answers. Real answers. And then," his eyes blazed with determination, "then I'm going to find Itachi again. And I'm going to tell him that his stupid plan is over. I'm not letting Sasuke kill him. I'm not letting this tragedy play out the way he planned." "Good luck with that," Orochimaru said. "Itachi Uchiha is one of the most stubborn individuals I've ever met. He won't change his plans just because you ask nicely." "Then I'll punch him until he does," Naruto declared. "These fists have crushed countless enemies. They can crush one stubborn idiot's bad decisions too." Blah! Despite everything, Orochimaru laughed. "You really are something special, Naruto Uzumaki. I almost regret trying to invade Konoha now. You're far more entertaining as an ally than an enemy." "You're still getting punched tomorrow," Naruto said, already heading for the door. "But yeah, you're not completely terrible for a creepy snake criminal." He paused at the door. "Thanks for the information, Snake Face. This actually helped." "One more thing," Orochimaru called out. "Itachi's disease, the one destroying his eyes and body, it's progressing faster than anyone knows. He has perhaps a year, maybe less. If you're going to save him from himself, you'll need to act soon." Naruto nodded grimly and left, his mind already planning his next moves. First, confront Hiruzen and get the full truth directly. Second, find Itachi again and beat some sense into him. Third, tell Sasuke the truth, carefully in a way that wouldn't destroy him. Fourth, make sure nothing like the Uchiha massacre ever happened again in Konoha. Simple, direct, and probably impossible. Perfect for Naruto Uzumaki. Hiruzen Sarutobi was not surprised when Naruto stormed into his office that evening. He'd been expecting this confrontation since the day Itachi and Kisame had visited Konoha. What surprised him was Naruto's expression, not the expected rage, but cold, focused determination. "Old man," Naruto said quietly, closing the door behind him, "I need you to tell me the truth about the Uchiha massacre, all of it. No politics, no carefully worded explanations, just the truth." Hiruzen sighed deeply, suddenly looking every one of his 69 years. "Who told you? Does it matter?" Naruto crossed his arms. "I know the Uchiha were planning a coup. I know you and the elders ordered Itachi to stop it. I know he killed his entire family to prevent civil war." His blue eyes were hard. "What I don't know is why you thought genocide was the only solution. What I don't know is why you let a 13-year-old boy bear that burden alone. What I don't know," his voice rose slightly, "is how you could let Sasuke suffer for years not knowing the truth." "It's not that simple," Hiruzen started. "Nothing is ever that simple," Naruto shouted. "That's what everyone keeps saying. It's complicated. You don't understand the situation. There were no good choices. But you know what? Bullshit. There's always another choice. You just have to be willing to find it." "And what would you have done?" Hiruzen asked quietly. "If you were Hokage, faced with a clan planning to overthrow the government through violence, what would your solution have been?" Naruto was silent for a moment, thinking. Then he said, "I would have talked to them. Really talked. Found out why they were so desperate that overthrowing the government seemed like the only option. Addressed their concerns, made compromises, and if that didn't work," he clenched his fists, "I would have fought them myself, not sent some kid to do it. Me, the Hokage. I would have taken responsibility for stopping them, and I would have done it in a way that didn't require murdering children." The Uchiha clan had hundreds of members, Hiruzen pointed out, many of them highly skilled jonin. "You think you alone could have?" "I can punch through mountains," Naruto interrupted flatly. "I beat Orochimaru. I fought Itachi and Kisame to a standstill. Yes, I think I could have handled the Uchiha clan, especially if I had other jonin supporting me." He leaned forward. "But that's not the point. The point is, you could have found another way. You're supposed to be the professor, the man who knows 10,000 jutsu. You're supposed to be wise. And instead of using that wisdom to find a better solution, you chose the path that required the least effort and the most blood." Hiruzen flinched as if struck. "You're right," he said quietly. "You're absolutely right. I made the wrong choice. I let fear and political pressure guide my decision instead of wisdom and compassion. And because of that, an entire clan died. Itachi became a villain, and Sasuke lost everything." He looked at Naruto with tired eyes. "If I could go back and change it, I would. But I can't. All I can do is try to make sure nothing like it ever happens again." "Good," Naruto said firmly, "because that's what I'm here to make sure of. I'm not going to let you or anyone else in Konoha's leadership make that kind of mistake again." He pointed at Hiruzen. "From now on, if there's a crisis, if there's a situation where you think violence is the only answer, you come to me first. You let me try to find another way. And if I can't," his grin was sharp, "then at least you know you tried everything before resorting to the worst option." "You want to be involved in village decisions?" Hiruzen asked, surprised. "I want to make sure kids like Sasuke don't suffer because adults made bad choices," Naruto corrected. "I want to use my strength to protect people. All people, not just from external enemies, but from bad leadership too." He crossed his arms. "Plus, I'm probably going to be Hokage someday anyway. Might as well start learning how to do it right instead of how to do it wrong." Despite everything, Hiruzen smiled. "You know, Naruto, you remind me of the first Hokage sometimes. That same absolute certainty that there's always a better way. That same determination to protect everyone, even enemies." "Then maybe he was onto something," Naruto said. "Now here's what's going to happen with the Itachi situation. I'm going to find him again. I'm going to tell him his plan is stupid and I'm not letting it happen. And I'm going to make him tell Sasuke the truth, or at least part of it. Enough that Sasuke understands his brother isn't just some psychopath." "Itachi won't agree to that," Hiruzen said. "He's committed to his path." "Then I'll change his mind," Naruto declared. I don't care how stubborn he is. Nobody gets to manipulate my friends. And if Itachi thinks he can just die dramatically and leave Sasuke broken, his fists coated in haki, he's got another thing coming, because I'm gonna punch that idea right out of his head. Bwah! Hiruzen couldn't help but laugh. Only Naruto would approach a delicate political and emotional situation with the solution of punch it until it makes sense. But somehow Hiruzen believed it might actually work. Finding Itachi proved difficult. The man was a ghost, appearing and disappearing without pattern. Even with observation haki, Naruto couldn't track him consistently. Itachi was simply too good at concealment and misdirection. So Naruto did something unexpected. He waited. For 3 weeks, Naruto maintained his normal routine, training, missions, teaching. But every evening, he sat on the Hokage monument and extended his observation haki to its absolute maximum range, searching for that distinctive chakra signature. And on the 21st day, he found it. Itachi was alone, standing in a clearing miles outside Konoha, apparently waiting. His chakra signature was steady, calm, with no sign of Kasame or other Akatsuki members nearby. It was a trap, obviously. Naruto went anyway. He appeared in the clearing using Soru, landing across from Itachi with his fists already coated in haki. "Yo, murderer! Fancy meeting you here." "Naruto Uzumaki," Itachi acknowledged, his expression unreadable. "I've been expecting you. I assume you've learned the truth about the Uchiha massacre." "Yep. Turns out you're not just a psychopath, you're a manipulated weapon who made terrible choices because adults failed you." Naruto grinned, though his eyes were cold. "Now, here's how this is gonna go. You're gonna tell Sasuke the truth. You're gonna stop planning your own death. And you're gonna let me help you fix this mess." "No," Itachi said simply. "I wasn't asking." Naruto charged forward. Bone fist. Itachi dodged with minimal movement, his Sharingan tracking every muscle twitch. "I won't fight you seriously, Naruto. There's no point." "Then I'll just have to hit you until you take me seriously." Naruto used Soru to appear behind Itachi. Shigan, his finger strike aimed for a pressure point, but Itachi deflected it and kicked Naruto away. "You can't change my mind with violence," Itachi said calmly. "My path is set. Sasuke needs his brother," Naruto shouted. "Not some tragic villain to obsess over. Not some impossible target that drives him to madness. He needs you, the real you, not this fake monster you're pretending to be." For just a moment, something flickered across Itachi's face, pain perhaps, or regret. But it vanished instantly. What Sasuke needs doesn't matter. What matters is bullshit! Naruto's conqueror's haki exploded outward, and this time he didn't hold back. The pressure was so intense that trees bent, birds fell from the sky, and even Itachi staggered slightly. "Stop hiding behind noble sacrifices and tragic necessity. You're scared. Scared that if Sasuke knows the truth, he won't hate you anymore. Scared that you'll have to face your guilt. Scared that maybe, just maybe, there's still a chance to fix things." Itachi's eyes widened fractionally, the most emotion Naruto had ever seen from him. "You don't understand." "I understand that you're dying," Naruto interrupted. "I know about your disease. I know you have maybe a year left. And I know you're planning to let Sasuke kill you as some kind of twisted gift." He stepped forward, his presence overwhelming. "But here's what you don't understand. Sasuke doesn't want that gift. He wants his brother. He wants answers. He wants to understand why his entire family had to die. If he knows the truth, he'll what?" Naruto shouted. "Be sad? Be angry? Feel betrayed by Konoha? Newsflash, genius. He already feels all of that. At least if he knows the truth, he can start to heal instead of just building up hatred." Itachi was silent for a long moment. Then he said quietly, "You can't understand. You're not Uchiha. You don't know what it means to." "You're right. I'm not Uchiha," Naruto agreed. "I'm Naruto Uzumaki, the guy who punches problems until they make sense. And right now, you're the problem." He pulled back both fists, coating them in the darkest, most intense haki he'd ever generated. "So here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna fight you, really fight you, and I'm gonna win. And when I win, you're gonna listen to me instead of your stupid martyr complex. I won't use my full power against you," Itachi said. "You're not my enemy. Then I'll just have to hit you so hard you don't have a choice." Naruto grinned wildly. Come on, Itachi. Show me why you're supposed to be so scary. Use everything. Your Sharingan, your Jutsu, your Susanoo. I don't care. Give me your best shot, because I'm about to give you mine. He launched forward with Soru, moving faster than before, his fists blazing with power. These fists have crushed countless enemies. They've shattered mountains, and they're about to shatter your stupid plans too. Itachi's eyes widened, and for the first time, he looked genuinely alarmed. This wasn't the Naruto who had fought him before. This was something else, something more. The boy's power had grown exponentially, and his determination was absolute. Susanoo, Itachi formed the Crimson Chakra construct, completing it fully this time. Not just the skeletal ribcage, but the full armored warrior, wielding the legendary Totsuka blade and Yata mirror. Naruto's punch met the Yata mirror, the legendary absolute defense, and the shield cracked. Itachi actually gasped in shock as feedback from his technique hit him. Impossible! The Yata mirror is supposed to be invincible? Naruto grinned. Yeah, well, my fists don't care about supposed to. Blue hole! His next punch connected directly with Susanoo's chest, and the entire construct shuddered. Cracks spread across its surface, and Itachi was forced backward by the impact. You're stronger, Itachi said, breathing hard now. Blood dripped from his eyes. The strain of maintaining Susanoo against such overwhelming force was damaging him. Much stronger than before. I've been training, Naruto said cheerfully, punching mountains, fighting criminals, learning strategy from sensei, all so I could protect my friends. And right now, protecting Sasuke means protecting him from you and your terrible decisions. He charged again. Soru, Tekai, Bone Fist. The combination attack hit Susanoo from multiple angles. Naruto used his speed to appear in different positions instantly, his hardened body tanking counterattacks while his hockey-coated fists struck over and over. Susanoo began to crumble. This ends now, Itachi, Naruto shouted. You're gonna stop this martyr act. You're gonna tell Sasuke at least part of the truth, and you're gonna let me help you find a way to survive your disease. Because I don't care how impossible it seems, there's always another way if you're willing to look for it. There is no cure, Itachi started. Then we'll make one, Naruto interrupted. Konoha has brilliant medical ninja. We have access to forbidden jutsu. Hell, we've got Orochimaru locked up. He knows more about immortality and body modification than anyone. We can figure this out, but first you have to want to survive instead of planning your own death like some tragic hero. Itachi's Susanoo finally shattered completely, dissipating into wisps of crimson chakra. He stumbled, blood streaming from both eyes, his body trembling from chakra exhaustion. Naruto caught him before he fell. I've got you, Naruto said quietly, supporting Itachi's weight. Stop fighting, stop planning, stop trying to shoulder everything alone. Let me help, let Sasuke help, let Konoha help, because despite everything, they owe you that much. Itachi looked up at Naruto with eyes that were almost blind from strain. For the first time, he smiled. Not his usual cold smile, but something genuine and tired. You really are. Remarkable. Foolish and idealistic, but remarkable. I'll take that as a compliment. Naruto grinned. Now, are you gonna listen to me? Or do I need to punch you some more? I'll listen, Itachi said quietly. But I can't promise. Just listen for now, Naruto said. That's all I'm asking. Listen to what I have to say, listen to reason, and then decide if your plan is really the only way, or if maybe, just maybe, there's a better option. He helped Itachi sit down, and they talked, really talked, for hours as the sun set and rose again. Naruto laid out his case, the importance of truth, the value of hope, the possibility of redemption. Itachi countered with reality, the political complications, the impossibility of undoing the past, the weight of his crimes. But slowly, gradually, Naruto's absolute certainty began to erode Itachi's fatalistic resignation. I can't take back what I did, Itachi finally said. The Uchiha clan is gone. That blood is on my hands forever. Yeah, it is, Naruto agreed. And nothing's gonna change that. But you know what? You can still choose what to do with the time you have left. You can keep playing the villain and traumatize your brother further, or you can be honest with him. Give him closure. Give him understanding. Give him a chance to process everything before it's too late. And if Sasuke can't forgive me, then at least he'll understand, Naruto said. At least he won't spend the rest of his life hating a lie. At least he'll know his brother wasn't just a monster, but a person who made impossible choices and carried that weight alone. Itachi was silent for a long time. Then he said, "You would make a terrible ninja, but an excellent Hokage." "I'm already a great ninja," Naruto protested. "I punch things really well. That counts." Despite everything, Itachi laughed, a real genuine laugh. "Yes, I suppose it does." He looked at the rising sun. "Very well, Naruto Uzumaki. I'll consider your proposal. I won't make any promises about changing my plans, but..." His expression softened slightly. "I'll think about alternatives, for Sasuke's sake." "That's all I'm asking." Naruto stood, offering Itachi a hand up. "Now come on, let's get you somewhere safe so you can rest. You look terrible, and I mean that literally. You're bleeding from your eyes. That can't be healthy." "It's a consequence of overusing the Mangekyo Sharingan," Itachi explained, accepting the hand. "The price of power." "Yeah, well, we're gonna find a way to stop that price from killing you," Naruto declared. "Because I didn't punch your stupid plan into submission just to watch you die anyway." Bah! They walked together back toward Konoha's borders, an unlikely pair, the legendary missing nin and the boisterous genin who refused to accept tragedy as inevitable. And somewhere in that walk, something changed. Not dramatically, not obviously, but fundamentally. Itachi Uchiha, who had resigned himself to death and villainy, began to consider the possibility that maybe, just maybe, there could be another way. All because a boy who punched mountains had decided that his plan was stupid and needed to be stopped. The next 3 months were complicated. Naruto couldn't bring Itachi directly into Konoha. The man was still a wanted criminal. But he could coordinate medical help through Tsunade, the legendary slug Sannin, who Hiruzen had convinced to return to the village, partially to help with this exact situation. Tsunade examined Itachi's condition and confirmed what Orochimaru had said. The Mangekyo Sharingan was destroying his body, and without intervention, he had perhaps 6 months left. But Tsunade was the best medical ninja in the world. "I can slow the degradation," she told Naruto privately. "Maybe even stop it if I can figure out the mechanism. But it'll require ongoing treatment, and Itachi will need to stop using his Mangekyo Sharingan completely." "He can do that," Naruto said confidently. "I already told him if he uses those eyes again, I'm gonna punch him. He took me seriously." "You threatened a legendary ninja with punching," Tsunade said dryly. "It's my solution to most problems." Naruto grinned. "Plus it works. He's being cooperative. Well, mostly cooperative. He's still all broody and mysterious, but at least he's not actively planning his own death anymore." Tsunade shook her head but couldn't help smiling. Naruto's logic was absurd, but somehow it produced results. Meanwhile, Naruto worked on the other part of his plan, preparing Sasuke for the truth. He didn't tell Sasuke everything immediately. Instead, he started with careful questions, gauging his friend's emotional state, helping him process his hatred in healthier ways. What if? Naruto said one day during training, what if Itachi had a reason for what he did? Not a good reason. Killing is never good, but a reason that made sense to him. Sasuke's eyes narrowed. What are you saying? I'm saying maybe things aren't as simple as they seem, Naruto said carefully. Maybe there's more to the story than evil brother murders family for power. How would you know? Sasuke demanded. Because I've been investigating, Naruto admitted. Talking to people, learning about what was happening in Konoha before the massacre, and I found some interesting things. Things that suggest the situation was more complicated than anyone told you. Sasuke stared at him with an unreadable expression. If you know something about why Itachi killed my family, tell me. I will, Naruto promised. But not yet. First, I need to make sure you're ready to hear it. Because the truth, he looked at his friend seriously. The truth is gonna hurt, Sasuke. It's gonna make you angry at people who aren't Itachi. It's gonna change how you see Konoha. So before I tell you, I need to know you can handle it without doing something stupid. I can handle it, Sasuke said through gritted teeth. Prove it, Naruto challenged. Train with me for the next month. Show me you've got control over your emotions. Show me you can think clearly instead of just reacting with rage. And then, he placed a hand on Sasuke's shoulder. Then I'll tell you everything, I promise. That month was intense. Sasuke threw himself into training with desperate energy, pushing himself harder than ever before. And Naruto was there every step of the way, matching his friend's intensity while also tempering his rage with wisdom. By the end of the month, Sasuke had achieved something remarkable. He'd activated the third Toma in his Sharingan through dedication and hard work rather than trauma. He'd grown stronger without sacrificing his sanity. "Okay," Naruto said on the final day. "You're ready. Come with me. There's someone who wants to talk to you." He led Sasuke to a secluded training ground outside Konoha's walls, and there, waiting in the center of the clearing, was Itachi Uchiha. Sasuke's reaction was immediate, rage flooding his system, Sharingan spinning, body tensing for combat. "Itachi! Wait!" Naruto grabbed Sasuke's shoulder, his grip firm. "Just wait. Listen to what he has to say. Really listen. And then if you still want to fight him, I won't stop you. But first, hear him out." Sasuke trembled, every instinct screaming at him to attack, to hurt, to kill. But he trusted Naruto. Despite everything, he trusted his friend's judgment. "Talk," Sasuke said, his voice cold. "You have 5 minutes, then I'm killing you." Itachi looked at his brother with eyes that held depths of sorrow. 5 minutes isn't enough to explain 8 years of lies, but I'll try. He took a deep breath. The Uchiha clan was planning a coup. They were going to overthrow Konoha's government through violence. If that happened, civil war would have destroyed the village, and other nations would have taken advantage of our weakness. Thousands would have died. Sasuke's eyes widened. "What?" "I was given an impossible mission," Itachi continued, his voice quiet but steady. "Stop the coup by any means necessary. The village elders wanted me to eliminate the threat completely. So He looked away. "I killed our family, all of them, everyone except you." "Liar!" Sasuke shouted. "You killed them to test yourself. You said—" "I lied," Itachi interrupted. "Everything I told you that night was a lie designed to make you hate me. Because if you hated me, if you had a clear target for your rage, you could grow stronger. You could survive. You could." His voice broke slightly. "You could have a purpose beyond the tragedy." Sasuke was shaking, tears streaming down his face. "Why? Why would you?" "Because I'm your brother," Itachi said simply. "And I would rather bear your hatred for eternity than let you die in the coup or the civil war that would have followed. I would rather be your villain than let you become collateral damage in a conflict you had no part in creating." The silence that followed was deafening. "He's telling the truth," Naruto said quietly. "I verified it. Talked to Hiruzen, to Orochimaru, to people who were around during that time. The Uchiha clan really was planning a coup, and Konoha's leadership really did order Itachi to stop it. Everything he's telling you is real." Sasuke fell to his knees, his world shattering and reforming simultaneously. "So, you're not a monster. You're just, what? A martyr? A tool? I'm your brother," Itachi repeated. "Who made terrible choices because I was young and scared and thought I had no other options. Who carries the weight of our family's death every day? Who—" He stepped forward slowly. "Who loves you, Sasuke, more than anything? Even if you hate me forever, even if you never forgive me, that will never change." Sasuke looked up at Itachi, his Sharingan spinning wildly, emotions warring across his face. Rage, confusion, grief, hope, all fighting for dominance. Finally, he spoke, his voice barely a whisper. "I don't know how to feel about this." "That's okay," Naruto said, kneeling beside his friend. "You don't have to know right now. This is a lot to process. Take your time. Feel what you need to feel. And when you're ready—" He glanced at Itachi. "Your brother's going to be around to answer more questions because he's not planning to die anymore. Right, Itachi?" "Right," Itachi confirmed. "Thanks to Naruto's persuasive arguments, I've decided to try to survive, to seek treatment for my condition, to—" He looked at Sasuke. "To try to make amends for what I've done in whatever limited way I can." Sasuke was silent for a long time. Then he stood, walked up to Itachi, and punched him in the face. Not hard, nowhere near Naruto's devastating strikes, but with enough force to split Itachi's lip and knock him backward a step. "That's for 8 years of lies," Sasuke said, his voice steady despite the tears. "The rest, I'll figure out later, but for now." He looked at his brother seriously. "Don't you dare die before I decide whether to forgive you or kill you myself." Despite the blood on his lip, Itachi smiled. "I won't, I promise." Naruto grinned widely. "See? That wasn't so hard. Well, okay, it was incredibly emotionally difficult and traumatic, but we got through it. And nobody died. And Sasuke didn't go crazy. I call that a win. Wow, you're insane, Sasuke muttered, but he was smiling slightly through his tears. And you're stuck with me. Naruto slung an arm around Sasuke's shoulders. Now come on, all this emotional drama made me hungry. Let's go get ramen. My treat. Well, Itachi's treat, since he's got that Akatsuki money, he can afford it. I'm a wanted criminal, Itachi pointed out. I can't exactly walk into Konoha and buy ramen. Details, Naruto waved dismissively. We'll figure it out. Maybe disguise you as a normal person, no one's league, or sneak the ramen out. Or ooh, I know, I'll learn to make ramen myself and bring it here. That way we can have eating parties in this training ground. It'll be great. As Naruto enthusiastically planned their impromptu ramen party, Itachi and Sasuke exchanged glances. Despite everything, the tragedy, the lies, the years of pain, they were brothers again. Not healed, not whole, but connected. And somehow, that impossible reconciliation had been achieved through the efforts of a boy who punched mountains and refused to accept that some things couldn't be fixed. The final month. Tsunade's treatment had slowed Itachi's deterioration significantly, but it hadn't stopped it completely. The Mangekyo Sharingan's damage was too advanced, too deeply integrated into his body's systems. I can give him maybe 2 years, Tsunade told Naruto privately. 3 if we're very lucky, and he completely stops using his chakra for combat, but without a transplant of fresh Sharingan eyes or some other intervention. She shook her head. There's no cure, only postponement. Then we postpone, Naruto said firmly. 2 years is better than 6 months. And in 2 years, maybe we'll figure out something better. Maybe we'll find a way to... Naruto, Tsunade interrupted gently. Sometimes there isn't a solution. Sometimes the best we can do is make someone comfortable and give them time to make peace with their fate. That's quitter talk, Naruto protested. I don't do quitter talk. There's always a solution if you're willing to. An explosion rocked Konoha, then another, and another. Naruto's observation haki flared, detecting massive chakra signatures converging on the village from multiple directions. Not just 1 or 2 enemies, dozens of them, all powerful, all coordinated. What the hell? Naruto rushed to the window, looking out at the village. Smoke was rising from multiple locations, and the alarm bells were ringing desperately. An Anbu appeared in Tsunade's office. Hokage-sama, the village is under attack. Multiple enemy forces have breached the walls simultaneously. They're being led by... The Anbu's voice trembled. By the Sound Four, Orochimaru's elite guards. They've somehow freed Orochimaru from prison and he's leading the assault. What? Naruto's Conqueror's haki exploded outward, knocking the Anbu unconscious. That snake bastard escaped? How? Get to the village, Tsunade ordered. I'll coordinate the defense from here. Stop them before. Already gone. Naruto used Soru to vanish, appearing in the streets of Konoha moments later. Chaos surrounded him. Ninja fighting sound ninja, civilians fleeing toward shelters, buildings burning. And in the center of it all, standing atop the Hokage monument with a cruel smile, was Orochimaru. Hello, Naruto. Orochimaru's voice carried across the village via jutsu amplification. Surprise! Did you really think your little prison could hold me? I've been planning my escape since the day you captured me. And now... He gestured broadly. Now I'm going to destroy this pathetic village as revenge for my humiliation. You've got to be kidding me, Naruto shouted back. I beat you once already. This is just going to end the same way, except this time I'm punching you harder. Oh, I don't think so, Orochimaru said. You see, I've brought friends. Kabuto, show our guest what we've been working on. A figure appeared beside Orochimaru, Kabuto Yakushi, Orochimaru's right hand, wearing glasses and a smug expression. He made hand seals, and suddenly the ground around Konoha erupted with coffins. Edo Tensei, the forbidden jutsu that resurrected the dead as immortal warriors, dozens of coffins, each one containing a powerful ninja from history, all under Orochimaru's control. Oh, come on, Naruto shouted. That's so cheap. You can't beat me fairly, so you cheat. He grinned suddenly. Actually, that's smart. Evil and terrible, but smart. Too bad it's not gonna work. Wah! He coated both fists in armament haki and charged toward the nearest group of resurrected ninja. These fists have crushed countless enemies. Some zombie warriors aren't going to change that. Bone Fist. The first resurrected ninja, some ancient jonin from the first shinobi war, tried to block with a kunai. The kunai shattered, and the ninja was launched backward through 3 buildings. Shigan! Rankyaku, Soru, Tekai. Naruto became a whirlwind of destruction, moving through the resurrected army with overwhelming force. Each punch obliterated an enemy. Each kick created air blades that cut through multiple opponents, his speed making him nearly impossible to hit. But there were so many enemies. For every zombie ninja he defeated, Kabuto resurrected 2 more. The technique was designed to overwhelm through sheer numbers, and even Naruto's incredible power couldn't be everywhere at once. Konoha's ninja were holding their own, barely. Guy led a team defending the residential district. Kakashi protected the academy. Other jonin fought desperately at strategic positions throughout the village, but they were being pushed back, slowly but inevitably. Having trouble? Orochimaru taunted from his position on the monument. This is what happens when you rely on a single powerful individual. Even you can't save everyone, Naruto. You'll have to choose, protect the village or stop me. And either way, Konoha falls. Naruto's mind raced. Orochimaru was right. He couldn't be everywhere at once. Even with his speed and power, the village was too large, the enemies too spread out. If he focused on stopping Orochimaru, civilians would die. If he focused on protecting civilians, Orochimaru would destroy the village's infrastructure. He needed help, real help, from someone powerful enough to make a difference. His eyes fell on the forest beyond Konoha's walls, where he could sense 2 familiar chakra signatures watching the battle. Itachi and Kasame. They'd been observing, not participating, apparently under orders from Akatsuki's leader to wait and see how the situation developed. Naruto made a decision. "Oi, fish face, broody Uchiha!" He shouted toward the forest, his voice carrying despite the chaos. "I know you're watching. You said you're not here to destroy Konoha, right? Well, Orochimaru is, so either help me stop him or admit you're just cowards hiding in the shadows." There was a pause. Then impossibly, Kasame's laugh echoed across the battlefield. "Interesting proposition, kid." The shark nin appeared on a nearby rooftop, Samehada already unwrapped. "What's in it for us?" "I'll stop punching you every time we meet," Naruto offered. "Plus, this is a great chance to fight. You said you wanted a good challenge. Well, Orochimaru's got an army. That sounds pretty challenging." Kasame looked at Itachi, who had also appeared. The Uchiha was silent for a moment, then said quietly, "Konoha may have failed me, but it's still Sasuke's home. I won't let it be destroyed while he's inside." "That's the spirit," Naruto grinned. "Okay, here's the plan. Kasame, you and I handle the zombie army. Use that sword of yours to absorb their chakra. Make them easier for me to punch. Itachi, you go after Kabuto. Stop him from resurrecting more enemies. I'll handle Orochimaru directly." "You're insane," Kasame said, but he was grinning. "I love it. Let's do this." What followed was the most chaotic, destructive, absolutely insane battle Konoha had ever witnessed. Naruto and Kasame carved through the resurrected army like twin hurricanes. Naruto's hockey-coated fists obliterated enemies, while Kasame's Samehada absorbed their chakra, weakening them for easier defeat. They worked in surprising synchronization, the monster of Konoha and the monster of the mist, unlikely allies against a common threat. "You're pretty good at this," Kasame shouted, cutting through 3 zombie ninja with a single swing. "For a kid!" "And you're not terrible for a fish!" Naruto shouted back, punching another enemy into paste. "After this, you want to spar? I've been wanting to test my full power against someone who can take it." "You're on." Meanwhile, Itachi confronted Kabuto atop a building. The medical ninja tried to use his enhanced regeneration and chakra scalpels, but Itachi's Sharingan predicted every movement. Tsukuyomi. Kabuto was trapped in the genjutsu for what felt like 72 hours, but was actually only a second. When he snapped back to reality, he was on his knees, trembling, his mind barely functional. "Stop the Edo Tensei," Itachi commanded. "Now!" "I can't," Kabuto gasped. "Only Orochimaru knows the full release sequence." "Then you're useless." Itachi knocked him unconscious with a casual kick and turned toward Orochimaru's position. His brother was somewhere in the village, helping evacuate civilians. Itachi would make sure Sasuke's home survived this assault. And Naruto? Naruto charged straight at Orochimaru. "Snake face!" he roared, using Geppo to jump from building to building, closing the distance rapidly. "You escaped, attacked my village, resurrected a bunch of dead people, interrupted my training. That's it! I'm really gonna punch you now, like super hard, harder than I've ever punched anyone." Kukuku, so confident. Orochimaru made hand seals. Let's see how you handle this. Summoning Jutsu, Manda. The massive snake, Orochimaru's most powerful summon, larger than buildings, erupted from the ground beneath the monument. Its jaws opened wide, ready to devour Naruto whole. Naruto's grin turned absolutely feral. Perfect! I've been wanting to punch a giant snake! Armament Haki! Full body coating. His entire body turned dark, coated in the hardest Haki he could generate. He fell straight into Manda's mouth and punched his way out through the back of the snake's head. Bone Fist! Manda vanished in a cloud of smoke, banished back to its realm, and Naruto emerged from the dissipating summon like an avenging demon, his fists blazing with power. My turn, he shouted. Blue hole! His punch connected with Orochimaru's hastily raised defense, and the snake Sannin was launched backward, crashing through the Hokage monument hard enough to crack the stone faces. You're stronger than before, Orochimaru gasped, pulling himself from the rubble. His body was already regenerating, some forbidden jutsu allowing him to heal damage that should have been fatal. But I've gotten stronger too. I've perfected my technique. I've achieved. I don't care, Naruto interrupted. You hurt people. You attack my village. You're a bad guy. That means I punch you. That's how this works. Stop talking and fight. He charged forward with Soru, his fists moving in a blur. Bone Fist! Bone Fist! Shigan Rankyaku! Blue Hole! Bone Fist! Each strike landed with devastating force, but Orochimaru kept regenerating, kept adapting, kept fighting with the desperate energy of someone who knew this was his last chance. Kusanagi! The legendary sword extended from his mouth, aimed at Naruto's heart. Naruto caught it between his fingers again, yanked Orochimaru forward, and delivered a punch that sent the Sannin spinning through the air. Fistbone Meteor! He grabbed chunks of debris and threw them with Haki coating. Each projectile moved like a missile, forcing Orochimaru to dodge desperately while Naruto closed the distance. You can't win, Orochimaru shouted. Even if you defeat me, the damage is done. Konoha is burning. Your precious village is still standing, Naruto shouted back. Because Konoha's ninja are strong. Because we protect each other. Because we don't give up. He pulled back both fists, coating them in the darkest, most intense Haki he'd ever generated. And because I'm here. His conqueror's Haki exploded outward, so powerful it made the air itself shimmer. Every weak-willed enemy in the entire village collapsed unconscious. Even the resurrected ninja paused, affected by the sheer overwhelming presence. These fists have crushed countless enemies, Naruto roared, his voice echoing across Konoha. They've shattered mountains, they've broken through legendary defenses, and they're about to end your pathetic invasion. He launched himself at Orochimaru with speed that broke the sound barrier, creating sonic booms that shattered windows across the village. Galaxy impact! Both fists connected with Orochimaru's chest, and reality seemed to pause. Then the shockwave erupted. It radiated outward in a perfect sphere, flattening everything within 50 meters, creating a crater that would become a permanent landmark. The force of the impact was so tremendous, it created its own weather system. Winds strong enough to extinguish fires across the village, pressure waves that dispersed smoke and ash. When the dust settled, Naruto stood in the center of a massive crater, breathing hard but still standing strong. At his feet lay Orochimaru, not dead, but broken beyond the ability to regenerate quickly, his body a mass of shattered bones and torn tissue. It's over, Orochimaru gasped, blood bubbling from his lips. I lost again. Yep, Naruto said cheerfully, though he swayed slightly from exhaustion. You lost, because you're weak. Not physically weak, you're pretty tough for a creepy snake guy. But you're weak where it matters. You hurt people for selfish reasons. You don't protect anything, and that makes you pathetic. He grabbed Orochimaru by the collar. Now you're going back to prison, and this time I'm making the guards put like 1,000 seals on your cell, and I'm gonna personally check it every day. And if you escape again, his grin turned sharp. I'm gonna get really creative with where I punch you. Orochimaru actually laughed, weak, pained, but genuine. You win, monster of Konoha. Anbu arrived quickly, taking custody of Orochimaru with every precaution imaginable. The remaining sound ninja, seeing their leader defeated, surrendered or fled. The resurrected army, without Kabuto's active control, became sluggish and easy to defeat. The battle was over. Konoha had survived. Naruto collapsed to his knees, finally allowing exhaustion to claim him. He'd used his full power, pushed himself to the absolute limit, and emerged victorious. Guy appeared beside him, supporting his weight. "You did it, Naruto! You saved the village!" "We did it!" Naruto corrected, looking around at all the ninja who had fought and bled to protect their home. "Everyone fought. I just punched the main bad guy." He grinned tiredly. "That's my specialty." Sasuke ran up, Sharingan still active from the battle. "Naruto, you're hurt." "Just tired," Naruto assured him. "Nothing sleep won't fix." Are the civilians okay?" "Most of them," Itachi said, appearing from the shadows. The evacuation was successful. Casualties were minimal considering the scale of the attack. Naruto looked at Itachi, then at Kasame, who was also approaching, and grinned. "Thanks for the help, guys. You didn't have to, but you did. That makes you not completely terrible people in my book." "Don't get used to it," Kasame said, but he was smiling. "We helped because the fight was interesting. Next time we meet, we might be enemies again." "Then I'll punch you again," Naruto declared. "Fair's fair." Hiruzen arrived, looking old and tired but relieved. "Naruto Uzumaki, once again you've saved this village through sheer determination and overwhelming force." He looked at the crater Naruto had created with his final attack. "Though I'm going to need to have a conversation with you about property damage." "I saved the village," Naruto protested. "Property damage is just a side effect of being awesome." Despite everything, everyone laughed. The tension, the fear, the desperation of the battle, all of it released in that moment of shared relief. Konoha had survived its greatest threat yet, thanks to a boy who refused to accept defeat, who punched problems into submission, who protected his home with fists that had shattered mountains and now had saved a village. But as the sun set on the damaged but standing Konoha, Naruto looked toward the future with determination burning in his eyes. This wouldn't be the last threat. The world was full of dangers, Akatsuki, enemy villages, unknown enemies plotting in shadows. But he would face them all, because he was Naruto Uzumaki, the monster of Konoha, the boy whose fists had never known defeat, and his legend was only beginning. Epilogue, 1 year later. Naruto stood atop the newly reconstructed Hokage monument, looking out over Konoha as the sun rose. He was 14 now, taller, more muscular, his power having grown even further through constant training. Behind him, Sasuke approached, his own strength having increased dramatically. The brothers, both Uchiha and the bond between Naruto and Sasuke, had spent the year healing, training, growing stronger together. "Thinking about the future?" Sasuke asked. "Always," Naruto grinned. "I'm gonna be Hokage someday, strongest ninja in the village, maybe the world, and I'm gonna make sure nothing like what happened to you or Itachi ever happens again." He punched his palm. "I'm gonna change the whole ninja world, make it better, safer, less full of people making terrible decisions." "That's ambitious," Sasuke noted. "Ambitious is my specialty," Naruto declared. "Along with punching, I'm really good at punching." They stood together in comfortable silence, watching the village wake up below them. Konoha had recovered from Orochimaru's attack, stronger and more united than before. Itachi's treatment was ongoing, giving him precious time. The village had learned from its mistakes, implementing reforms to prevent another tragedy like the Uchiha massacre. Change was happening, slowly, imperfectly, but happening. All because a boy had refused to accept that some things couldn't be fixed. "Race you to the training ground," Sasuke said suddenly. "I want to test my new technique." "You're on." Naruto's grin widened. "But fair warning, I've been practicing my speed. I can probably break 3 sound barriers now, maybe 4. "That's not something to brag about," Sasuke protested, but he was smiling. They took off running, 2 friends racing toward their future, toward their dreams, toward destiny. And somewhere in the distance, watching from concealment, Itachi Uchiha smiled. His brother had found something precious, not just strength, but friendship, purpose, hope. Thanks to a boy who punched mountains and refused to give up. The legend of Naruto Uzumaki was far from over, but for now, in this moment, the monster of Konoha was simply a boy racing his best friend toward a training ground, laughing with pure joy, his fists ready to punch whatever challenges the future held. Because that was who he was, Naruto Uzumaki, the boy whose fists had crushed countless enemies, shattered mountains, saved villages, and changed destinies. And he was just getting started.
That's what real power looks like when you never give up on your training. No shortcuts, no special bloodlines, just sweat, determination, and fists that can shatter mountains. If this fired you up, hit that subscribe button right now. Drop a like if you want to see more legendary warriors. Remember, you don't need fancy jutsu when you've got an unbreakable spirit and the will to become the strongest. Now get out there and forge your own path.